brain fog, and brain fog includes many things, right? It's inability to focus, it's a poor memory, um, it's mood swings, and cloudy. I see, like, it's like a cloud. I feel cloud is coming, and it
Mm-hmm.
just covers all the goodness that I have, that it makes my view so narrow. The way I see life, it becomes so narrow. It's just I see darkness. Um, yes, and also vertigo, pressure in head, all this, I would say, basically related to my head. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
yes, and also another thing is my heart, because as you know, I had my heart
Have
is already
surgery.
kind of defective. Yeah, yeah, already has a defect, and now on top of it, it has to suffer due to these, issues. I think digestive system causes it, because doctors, cardiologists, I've been to hospital a couple times, and he said yes, a heart, but actually something triggers it,
Mm-hmm.
not the heart itself. All looks pretty good. And so,
Mm-hmm.
yes, Aileen, what I worry is that my pulse is pretty rapid, and I have skipped heartbeats, which is sometimes when it comes too many in a row, too, fast, I would say, too fast, too many in a row, then I have, something happening in my head. I don't know, is it lack of oxygen, whatever. So
Okay.
this is not fun. And also, another big thing is, during the night, and this happens only during the night. I would fall asleep, and then maybe 1 hour, 2 hour later, I jump up from my sleep, and I have my heart starts then to go very, very rapid, very speedy. And I don't know, Aileen, I think I've been to hospital like 6 years ago, so it was same similar experience, so it was over 150 beats per minute, and it's so
Oh,
high. And when you feel it does not stop, when it's sometimes you get scared and you feel okay, it's going up, but then you feel it's going down as well. But here you
okay.
feel it's not going to stop, the sensation. And it does not
Okay.
stop until I take some pills I got from a homeopathic remedy, related to solar plexus, and another one to my pancreas. Yes.
Okay.
And actually, for the past couple months, I had these really often happening, like never before. But I realize now that it's better for me not to stand up, and I kind of got used to, okay, okay, I woke up. I think I'm gonna have it. I don't wake up. I don't get up, I mean, and then it slows down quicker. So
Okay, I see.
yeah, yeah, it helps kind of. But again, I cannot, guarantee it's gonna be this way forever, because it's really unpredictable in a way.
Okay, I see. There's a lot of things going on here. We can go back to when you were talking about like all these different things. So let's see, you have like a rapid heart rate, skipped heartbeats. Your pulse is rapid, especially when you like get up or like when you're feeling anxious or like I know you were saying that you feel like it's coming from your stomach, your solar
Mhm,
plexus, your pancreas, all these different types of things. Okay, so seeing at your eyes, like there's so many different areas that are weak that could be causing these rapid heartbeats and like no predictability when it comes to that heart rate.
mhm,
So what I often tend to see is number one, you're right, it is coming from the solar plexus area. In your eyes, you have many, many lesions in that stomach region, pointing to deterioration, a lot of inflammation in the stomach. If you have neurotoxicity tends to like bind itself to that GI tract and to the stomach region and to that nerve ganglia, especially that's in the stomach, located in the stomach. So there's possible neurotoxicity involvement. whenever you see like rapid heart rate and whenever you feel like that anxiety just coming from there, that can shoot that up. Number two, it could be coming from your thyroid gland. If your body is not getting enough oxygenation to the cells, like for instance, if you have shortness of breath, then what the body will do is it'll create like a hyperthyroid type of reaction to make your heart beat faster in order to oxygenate the cells of your body faster, which is why you were saying like, oh, I feel like my head is not getting oxygenated, right? And now there's certain areas as well, like let me see what else, because the heart area and the eyes, it doesn't look bad, you know, you have like the tiniest weakness there, but I don't feel like that would cause like a major issue. It's really coming from your stomach, you know, your thyroid gland weakness that you have going on there, the fact that you're not really getting enough cellular respiration through your body, possible neurotoxicity. If you've ever been exposed to neurotoxicity, that's a possibility. So there's a lot of little things going on there. The pressure in your head as well. So like there's certain areas of your brain that control heart rate as well, because like every time you get up and you feel like that sense of dizziness and vertigo, that's coming from the back of your head, the cerebellum region that controls dizziness, vertigo, and balance issues. And right below the cerebellum, you have the medulla and the brainstem, and that controls heart rate. So it's like very much tied there. You have quite a few weaknesses in your brain, and I saw different weaknesses in these different areas. So we have to go up there with like upper circulation and the brain and nerve formula to, you know, bring in oxygenation, blood circulation, blood flow, and the herbs in there to regenerate these weaknesses that you have in your brain, as well as, you know, draining out the lymphatic system from this head region. Really, you're going to have to clean out the colon as much as you can in order to accomplish this, right? So how often would you say you have these things? Is it several times a day that you get this heart sensation, or like how often is it?
Mm-hmm. No, this very rapid heart
Heart rate?
heart rate. Yes, very rapid one. It happens only nighttime.
Only nighttime.
Only
Okay.
at night, and yes, only at night. Now, other of course, my heart speed always is heightened, and I feel that it is definitely related to my stomach
Yeah.
issues, and it's
The
been
nervous
going for
system.
years actually. Actually, since I have my first child, I think 1 year later I started to have problems with my bowel movements, and then the stomach, the spasms kind of, you know, it's not painful spasm, but it's just making, you know, it's something happens there, and then I feel confusion, and then my heart starts to beat, and then I feel urgency to go to urinate like every few minutes, maybe 5 minutes or so, even though I didn't drink more than you know I would. So something
Mm-hmm.
really happens there, you know,
Okay.
spasms going, you know, I don't know.
There's
Keep,
a lot of different things. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. The pituitary gland controls urgency of urination. At the same time, if you have like weakness in your bladder, if you've been sucking like so much calcium out of your bladder, you know, I don't know how much you know about detoxification, but in the presence of acidosis, if the bladder is very acidic, the calcium leaches from there, it makes it more weak, and then you are not able to hold your urine that much. But if you're also not able to control your urination, that can be coming from the pituitary gland in your head. So a lot of involvement in your head. But you know, I was gonna say the people that have come to me in the past, such as yourself, that feel like these heart surges or what they describe as adrenaline surges, many of the time, it's definitely coming from the nervous system, how weak it is, how spastic it is. In your eyes, I saw many nerve rings, like they're like these rings going on around your eyes, and the lymphatic congestion that I see is so thick that it's almost hard to even make out that there's nerve rings underneath, but I can see them because you know I'm looking quite closely. And that means if you have those nerve rings, it means that your myelin sheaths are breaking down. So all that whiteness that you see in your eye, that's congestion, and that translates to acidosis, which translates to acidosis breaking down the myelin sheaths of the nerve cells, the coating of the nerve cells. When you have that breakdown of the nervous system, that's when you get spasticity and anxiety and all these different spasms. And since the nervous system controls everything in your body, you can feel many different sensations like electric shocks and all these different types of sensations in your body. And of course, you know, there's a few things that control the heart. there's the muscle of the heart, there's like the calcium channels coming from the parathyroid gland. So if you're having trouble utilizing calcium, which is, what people have trouble with after they give birth, after they give birth to their first child, the child sucks up so much calcium from your body that you can have things like that. So your heart rate being affected can come from the calcium channels, but then at the same time, the nervous system connected to the adrenal glands. If your adrenal glands are very weak, you can have many different sensations going on with your heart. So that's what I saw in your eyes and your symptoms. So essentially, like, it could be one of these things, or it could be everything contributing to these issues. You follow? So how we're going to deal with this and how we're going to address this is we're going to throw all the different herbal protocol, like all the different herbal formulas for these set of weaknesses that I see. Thankfully, you don't have a parathyroid gland weakness per se, but you do have a pituitary gland weakness, genetic pituitary gland weakness that's bringing down the function of all the other glands in your body, especially your parathyroid. So that's what we're going to address. But before I continue on, I want to know, like, if all these things that I'm saying, it's like too much, or do you have like a good grasp of detoxification? If you
No.
can tell me how much you know about detox.
No, to be honest, I'm not so good. It's just that, maybe how many weeks now I've been watching your videos and Dr.
Okay,
Yeah, more so.
nothing more.
But no, not a lot. But just go
Okay.
ahead, no worries. Just one point I forgot to tell you. You told me, to tell me in 5 minutes. So yes, the head, the heart, and also, Aileen, my intolerance to food.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's
Hmm?
crazy. I eat just carrots and sweet potatoes, honestly. And sometimes lamb, and that's it. I cannot drink any teas, any spices, even black pepper. So only Himalayan salt and water and carrots and even I cannot take any coconut oil anymore, any olive oil anymore. Just it's crazy, but the refined sunflower oil is quite good. And I'm crazy
Okay.
about fat. I've never been so crazy about fat in my whole life. I could eat, if I boil sometimes, lamb, I would eat not, I don't want a meat. I want all those stuff, like fat and those tissues and
Okay.
yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Okay, I see. Well, are you able to handle coconut water? Because I know you said you can do water, but
No,
no
I
coconut
cannot do
oil.
coconut oil. Now, coconut water, I haven't tried for a really long time.
Okay.
I can try. I can try
Okay.
and see, but it's I just don't understand what's happening because I try fruits. It sends me to, straight away I have headache, and then when I have headache, I mean it's like a pressure, more like a pressure. Then I
Oh
have
yeah, you're so
everything
lymphatically
sets
backed up.
in, everything's, then I have vertigo, then I have tinnitus, then I have, inability to focus properly with my eyes, and then I have depression, and you know apples,
Okay.
grapes. I've tried so many things really, and it's just
Okay. Okay. Well, right now, if you were to eat, like, let's say, a few blueberries, how would you react?
hmm
How bad would these symptoms be that you were telling me? The head pressure, like 1 out of 10, 10 being the worst. How bad would it be after just one
mm,
uh, little bowl of blueberries?
yes. Well, I cannot tell you exactly how it feel now because I can tell you that sometimes I react to say lamb, and sometimes I don't react to lamb. Sometimes I react a little bit to lamb. Sometimes I react more to lamb. For example, yes. Or like
Okay.
sweet potatoes, I was eating it for I don't know how many, almost a year. Then I suddenly started to react. Then I stopped, and now again I reintroduced. I'm quite okay again. Little bit here and there. There is a bit of symptoms. So again, it seems so unpredictable. So I cannot really tell you, but I remember eating blueberries last year. So out of 10, I would say it was perhaps 3, 4, not
Three or
more,
four.
not more.
Okay. Okay. So how we're going to go about this is essentially you're going to have to stick to the things that you're eating now, just as kind of like a balance, right? I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't put you in a full on raw diet right now because I think that your symptoms would just explode to the point to where it would reach a 10. Like the more consistently you ate fruits like meal after meal after meal. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm-mm.
So I would say like just trying to reincorporate some fruits that your body's able to handle a little bit more than others. Just do that like once a day or twice a day and moving forward with that, right?
Yes.
And pretty soon, I'm not going to say that you're not going to feel these symptoms. You're going to feel these detoxification symptoms because it is, in a sense, your body trying to purge all this cellular waste that you've been building up in your body all these years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to see detox symptoms. If you feel like these head pressures, really it's just your body trying to purge. Like maybe once you're able to, you can get your sinuses to drain to relieve this head pressure. But the beauty about detox is you can use some detox tools coupled with, minor changes in your diet will transition you. You can use these detox tools to relieve the pressure that you feel in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially after this call, I'm going to send you the detox tools that are going to help you out a lot to help you transition into this diet nicely. So, I'll cover a little bit right now, like ear candling. Anytime you feel like this intense head pressure, you can do some ear candles. Have you heard of those before?
Yes, yes, yes,
Have you done them before?
yes.
Okay. Did you find any relief in the past?
Well, it was a long time ago. I wasn't that sick, so I didn't really feel a difference, or just, it was fun.
Okay, so I'm just going to give you some detox tools that you can do, okay? So, do the ear candling. I would say, anytime you feel this coming on, or even before that, I would recommend doing it at least a few times a week. So get yourself like some ear candles. You can purchase them online or in a health food store if they have them, or you can try and find a place that does ear candling. Try and just do ear candles a lot to relieve this lymphatic pressure that you feel, because then otherwise your detox is going to be very unpleasant. You're going to feel very dizzy and you're going to feel all these different things that you were saying, like, pressure, headaches, inability to focus, all those different types of things. Okay.
Mhm.
Do that. Number two, what you can do is hot and cold packs. Okay.
Mhm.
So do hot and cold packs specifically on the back of your head. So not on your neck, but on the back of your head.
Mhm.
That's where the cerebellum and the brainstem is, what we were talking
Oh,
about before,
yeah,
right?
that's where that's what I have problem there. If I touch
Yeah.
that area or any area in the back of the neck, I would have spasms, which are not painful, but they make my head move. It's like if I relax my head, I will move in accordance to my heartbeat. It's very strange, but that's the sensitivity there.
Okay. So you're very sensitive there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd say do the ear candling at first. Once you're able to relieve some head pressure, then you can go into doing some hot and cold packs later on.
Okay.
We'll try and just detoxify your body a little bit more. Some of the detox tools that I'm going to recommend, some of them are very strong for you right now, but it doesn't mean that we can't incorporate it later on. So our goal right now is to try and reintroduce some foods slowly back into your diet so that you're able to handle them and your detox symptoms are not going to be too severe. Okay, so
Mm.
you can still function, so you can still have a little bit of joy in your life and not be in pain 24/7, right? And I'm going to say there's another thing that I wanted to touch up on ear candling. Okay, now since your stomach weakness is a big issue for you, I know you checked off that you had like gastroparesis. Were you diagnosed with that, or is that like just your symptom?
What is it? Gastroparesis, sorry.
It essentially means like if you went to the doctor and they said, okay, you have gastroparesis, essentially you can't digest anything.
No, no, I didn't get any diagnosis, Aileen. They
Okay, no diagnosis. Okay.
all blood shows I'm very healthy.
Ah, that's the thing. Okay. That's the thing. So all blood work is healthy. So blood work cannot catch acidosis. It does not show acidosis because if you showed acidosis in your blood, you would be dead by now. The blood cannot remain acidic for very long until like then you'd be dead, right? So what this is acidosis interstitially inside your muscles, deep within the tissues that are causing you these pains and these fatigue and these head issues, all these different types of things. So this is particularly apparent in your stomach. So I'm going to show you your eyes like in a few. We'll get to that and I'll be able to pull up the eyes for you. But essentially in your eyes, the stomach area is very dark. And whenever it's this dark, it means this person is having trouble digesting their foods. Okay, so this is why you have a lot of undigested food in your stools. You do have some pancreas weakness, some liver weakness that controls the digestion of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Liver controls digestion of fats. So you have some weaknesses there. But essentially, we're going to have to go in there with the herbs to try and soothe and calm this area down and buffer this area down, which is why sometimes you may feel like things are getting a little better, and why you crave fat. You know, you're craving these fats because it's like buffering the acids that are in your stomach, so to speak. But it's preventing you from detoxing, so it's only a short-term solution. You follow? So meats have a lot of fat in them. Oils, of course, they're nothing but fat, right? So that's why you're craving these fats, in order to try and like insulate or protect your body from these acids. But we can't take that approach or stay on that approach for too long. We have to go forward in hydrating the cells, having the astringency to remove all these acids, because over time the situation just gets worse, you know, over the years. So now it's time to go in there and try to remove these. But I will say, you said that you can't really handle like teas, right? I'm wondering if you can handle something like the stomach tea, or something like a very, very soothing, like slippery elm. You know what I mean? Or chamomile, something that's so soothing that has no detox power at all. Can you handle something like that?
Yes. So slippery elm, I haven't tried. I bought some powder, but I haven't tried. But chamomile, actually, I reacted quite strongly 2 years. Was it 2 years ago? Yeah, I think it's almost 2 years ago. So I don't know how it now. I may try.
Okay. How about marshmallow root? Have you tried that?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So those are the ones that you're going to be trying. Slippery elm, marshmallow root, okay? I want to see how your body does with these, because we have to go in there and coat this stomach, not with oils, but with soothing herbs. Now, once you do this, you'll be able to hopefully start to incorporate more astringent foods into your diet. So like, let's say during the day you have like slippery elm or marshmallow root, whichever one you're able to handle. You have that first, and then you have your fruit meal, right? Whatever you can handle. And then it's about staying on that for like, let's say a few days or like a week, you know, and then testing out the waters. See if you can include maybe another fruit meal, you know, and eventually what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the lamb and get rid of, you know, anything else that you may eat, and then slowly make our way towards the raw diet. Okay. But that's the tricky part, is it's going to be about transitioning, and you need to be very aware of the detox symptoms that you feel. If your detox symptoms are too strong, I don't want you to push it. Okay. But however, like if it's a 10 out of 10 pain, or 10 out of 10, you know, that, and I don't know like how mobile you are. Do you have like any responsibilities? Do you take care of your kids? Do you have a job? If you could tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, no, I don't work. I can't, you know, it's
Okay.
impossible. But no, my kids are big now. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
you know, almost teenager and a teenager, so no,
Okay.
no,
So
they
they
don't.
can take care of themselves now,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. So, who do you live with? Do you have a partner, a husband,
yes,
or?
husband, yes.
Okay. And does he support you on like your detox journey?
Yeah, it's okay. He's, you know,
He's good. He's
he
supportive.
understands, you know, yes, that I
Okay.
need to, yes. It's been like it's been a long journey, and still we don't see the end of it yet.
Okay, I see. Well, this is the end of it. This is the last thing. This is the way that you're going to find your remedy. It's just going to take some persistence, but you know, since you've already tried everything else, I'm assuming
Oh,
you've tried everything else.
really? There's nothing. I know I'm ready for whatever, you know,
Uh-huh.
because anyway, I'm eating just, you know, sweet potato for the past
Sweet
year. So
potato. Uh-huh.
yeah, I will be good, you know, if I can eat grapes, you know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay. So, out of all the fruits that exist, which one are you attracted to and that you feel like won't cause you too many detox symptoms?
You mean just to guess, or from experience?
From experience, and what food do you wish to have? Like, which one are you attracted to the most?
Mm,
So you can tell me what fruits in the past you were able to handle better than others. We can start there.
apples,
Okay.
peaches, um, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I would eat apples,
Apples,
peaches.
peaches. You said grapes before?
Yeah, it wasn't that I would eat often, but
Okay.
since I heard it's so good, because I don't know, I was thinking that actually fruits are not so good because of they grow candida feeds on them, and fermentation that happens, and then bloating, and then this and that you have to control the fruits and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh,
Yeah, like you bring up a good point. Like fruits are the end goal in terms of detox. Fruits detox you much better and much deeper than greens do and vegetables do. But fruits are like very powerful at moving the lymph system, and you don't want to move it too fast. So in this case, like if you can handle something like a green juice better than a fruit, then we can start off a little bit more on the green side, or like cooked veggies, something that is not so powerful in the
mhm.
beginning, right? So you're able to handle sweet potatoes, which is good. But I want to tell you, like the fruit thing, the candida, the fermentation, like that doesn't really exist. If you do have those issues, it's really an issue within, like your pancreas is not doing so great at digesting, right? But in a sense, you have to move towards fruits because that's the only thing that will heal the
Mm,
pancreas. That's
mm.
the only thing that will, because any other foods like starches or grains or proteins, like they don't have that astringent power to pull on the lymph system to get rid of the acid waste that's causing you deterioration of the pancreas, or weaknesses in these different areas. You follow? So like
Yeah.
this is something that like we have to move towards. And even if you experience things like gas and bloating, that's just temporary. You can think of that gas and bloating as like the lymph system trying to pull and tug at the acids, and then you may get like some sort of reactions like that. But they're detox symptoms that are to be expected, right? So yeah, so like on the same note, these are the fruits that you could handle in the past. Okay. Were there like any like greens or veggies that you could handle a little more than others in the past?
Mm, yes, I used to eat spinach and broccoli and kale, red cabbage, um, Brussels sprouts, all this stuff until I suddenly started to have diarrhea, like ten times per day. And then,
Oh,
yeah, and then suddenly I had to stop because it would give me the bloating and all those sounds in the bowel and pains. And then, yeah, it was 2017, I think. And then since that time, I began to use less and less food and became more intolerant, not only on the bowel wise, but also, the nervous system,
hmm.
symptoms. And so yes, I loved broccoli and spinach and all this stuff.
Okay, okay. So, can you tell me what was your diet like? Like, were you vegetarian, vegan, a standard diet, before coming into your health issues? If you can tell me a little bit about your diet from the past.
Mhm. I grew up eating everything, you
Okay.
know. We were, eating soups, yes, okay, soups and some veggies, but it was lots of pasta and milk, of
Hmm.
course, and wheat bread, white, brown, fermented, and we would have during winter we would do homemade fermented cabbage. So,
Okay, sauerkraut. Hmm.
so yeah, sauerkraut. So few things were kind of healthy, but then again, not really, And then when I had my first child, after that, I realized that I have bloating in my stomach and my bowel stopped moving well. I feel like it's not constipation, but I cannot really empty properly. And
Okay.
then the face became not so clear, and so on. So I cut off the dairy, then I cut off mayonnaise, and I wasn't really eating lots of veggies and fruits, to be honest. Yeah, I would like sometimes fruit, apple, this and that, but not really. I would still eat rice and chicken and sandwiches. I really love sandwiches, cheese, and yeah.
Okay, I see. So, okay, you had like a little bit of everything essentially. Okay, and then you noticed that cutting out milk like that, was a given. That's something that you had to do. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
I see what you're saying. Okay. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't have to tell you how like all these things cause more acidosis in your body and congestion, like the milk and the cheese and the breads, all those different types of things are very irritating to the colon and the stomach.
Mhm.
Just create and breed more acids in the body, more fermentation of fungus in the body as well. Okay. So, like from here on out, I obviously am not going to recommend things like that. We're trying to move away from all animal products and from any processed foods
Yes.
as best as you can. But during your transition phases, you might have to go back to maybe like some sort of starch.
Mm.
You never know. You may have to resort to eating like some brown rice or like some soup or veggie during the transition process.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm. Mm.
So yeah. So but I'm very aware that like your nervous system is just very spastic, and that's really just stemming from the weakness that you have in your stomach. So we're gonna address all of this. Okay. Now, if you can take me through like how often do you eat every single day, and what is it that you eat? So breakfast, lunch, dinner, things like that.
Yes. Um, usually, usually now I start, eating maybe at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m.
Okay, I
because
understand.
I'm not really that hungry anymore, because it's just repeating same stuff, really. So yes, but I found that recently I cannot tolerate being, fasting that long because I get vertigo and other stuff. But recent maybe week or 2 weeks, I have vertigo, which actually never really happened to me. Yes, it would be, weakness. Maybe I have like shaky hands, kind of, confusion. Maybe, a sugar, the glucose maybe goes down or something. I don't know what is it. Or,
Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
but like today I ate maybe at 1 p.m. for the first time, and yeah, I did have vertigo, and I'm imbalanced. I have to kind of touch something not to
Okay.
not to um not to get too dizzy or something. So
Okay.
yeah, and then I ate what today I ate. Yeah, so today I ate sweet potatoes. Yes, that was
At
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Okay.
Yes, at 1 p.m. And then I decided to eat some carrots. Grated carrots is just like kind of steamed with a bit of oil and salt. And that was around what, seven, half 7 p.m. That's a bit too late actually for me. Actually, it's too
Okay.
late. Yes, usually it would be 5, 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes I eat twice per day, sometimes I eat once a day.
I see. And when you eat the once a day, you tend to go for the sweet potato?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. And how often do you have the lamb?
Well, I had last week, but then I had 2 weeks. I didn't consume it, and then for some time I consume it almost every day. So
Okay.
no, now I don't. I just ate last week. I think I reacted, and I said no, no, no. I'm going now. Somewhere else. I have to stop this meat. It's not benefiting me.
Okay. Yeah, moving more towards detox, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, I see. That's really good. That's really good. Yeah, like you want to correct this because you don't want to get to the point to where you can't eat anything at all. Like this is where you're headed towards. So it's quite
Mm.
serious. You don't
Yes.
want to get to the point to where you can't even have water because we've helped clients, even clients that couldn't even drink any water. Like
Yeah,
that's how severe it is. So,
yeah, yeah.
since your body's going into detox when you're fasting, I know that you feel a little better when you're fasting in terms of like your stomach, but yeah, like you do have to eat. So on that note, how much would you say you weigh right now?
Yes. I am about 51 kg.
51 kg. Okay. I'm just gonna see what that translates to specifically in pounds.
Yeah.
So you're 112 pounds, and are you 5'4"?
I am 166 centimeters.
166 centimeters. Okay. Okay. So that translates to, yeah, 5'4". Okay. So, okay. How skinny would you say you are? Can you see like your bones protruding or anything like that?
Yeah, upper part, I'd say. Yeah, a bit. A bit.
Okay.
It's not too bad.
Okay, not too bad. Yeah, because I was gonna say like 112 at 5'4" is not so bad,
Yeah.
but if you're like depriving your body of nutrition because
Mm.
of the situation you're in, then it can become a problem if you're losing your muscle tone and if you're like really just losing your like
Yeah,
just your
yeah, my,
vibrancy.
my muscle tone is definitely is I'm losing it, definitely. I'm
Mhm.
really all so soft and so, um yeah, but no, it's okay. It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Okay. When did you used to weigh more at a certain point and you started to decline in your weight?
Oh, yes.
Okay, could you tell me when that started?
Yeah, so it was in 2013. I was weighing about so 5 plus 5 or 6 kgs, so 57 around kgs. And
57
then
kg.
57, maybe even 58, yeah, something like this, because I
Okay.
lost around 9 kgs, and I went in 1 month from that to 49, I think, because my stomach was it's just shot, I just couldn't take anything at all.
Ooh.
It would send straight away confusion, my heart, I don't know what was happening with my head, my all my body. So, and doctors, they said to me, it's anxiety and this and that, and then they just let me go home and basically, die.
Oh man. Okay, they said that there's nothing we can do for you. There's no hope.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
No,
I
they
see.
didn't say no hope. They said to me, it's anxiety. It's anxiety. So,
Ah,
yeah,
so it's
it's
okay.
anxiety.
So okay, yeah. I got the same thing told to me when I had fibromyalgia and I went to the doctors. They said that I was making this up. It was all in my head. That it
Oh,
was all psychological, creating all these pains and fatigue
yeah,
in my body because they couldn't find anything in scans or in blood work. They couldn't find anything.
yeah.
So, yeah, I know how you feel. It's really frustrating. But okay, so you lost a significant amount of weight during that time. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is your diet is going to drastically continuously change
Mhm.
while you're trying to get all raw. Okay. Now, when you mentioned that you had the carrots, I couldn't really hear you. Did you say grapes and carrots, or did you just say carrots?
No, I said grated.
Oh, grated. Okay, because I was like, oh wait, you're having grapes. Okay.
No.
Okay, grated carrots.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can do this a few ways. Now, have you ever taken herbal formulas before in the past?
Hmm. Hmm.
Like
Yes.
tinctures, capsules, things like that?
Yes. Yes. Long time ago, I've taken black seed oil, if that's count. I don't know if that counts. Black seed oil. Then I took what is it called? Olive leaf extract.
Olive leaf, okay.
That was long time ago, before I got really bad. Recently, been prescribed Gotu, because you
Okay.
see, Aileen, I'm one lady, she offered help. She's integrated medicine practitioner, and she's kind of doing something with me as well for the past almost a year. And she put me on honey, natural honey. So I've been taking manuka honey, 820 plus, the very strong one. And it's pretty pricey, and actually I've seen a bit of result in the beginning in my bowels. So the shape, and the texture, the everything, yes, the odor start to come, because it really was odorless, just really no odor whatsoever. I don't know if that's good or not. um and then but then I don't know, maybe I messed up again, because I tried eating lamb, because I was craving. I was
You were
craving.
craving the animal foods?
I was,
Okay.
because I was doing for my family, and then when I opened that pot, and I know it has no spices, and I might
Ah,
try it, and then I don't know, Aileen, is just like, I don't know how I look from the out, from
it's this
from the,
it's desperation that you were feeling, right?
what is it?
Like a desperation.
it's not, it's like, you know, like somebody haven't eaten for a couple weeks and found some food. I'm just you know,
Yeah,
that's
like ravish.
yeah, yeah, like crazy. And it was happening with me. So yeah, so maybe this messed up me, my bowels again. I don't know, but she tried this and that, and then she prescribed me go to cola. I
Okay.
took 30 drops. It's just regular standardized, you know, tincture, and I took it. It was 30 drops, and I just got so active. My brain, you know, it was not too bad daytime, but when I took in the evening, I just got so bad because I started to think very all positivity gone somewhere vanished, and all the bad things stayed in my head, and I just kept, you know, going, you know, through my mind. And then you know, that wasn't good really. And then she said to me to from 30 drops go to 5 drops. uh,
5 drops,
5 drops,
reducing. Okay.
5 drops, yes. So 6 times, yeah, lesser, and then 3 times a day with the honey. And then sometimes I would take 10, 12 drops, something like this, for how many months? Maybe 4 or 5 months. And now, yeah, I don't know, I stopped maybe 2 months ago or so.
Okay, I see.
Yes.
Now, this standardized drops, did it like is it preserved in alcohol?
Yes, in organic,
Organic?
yeah,
Okay, grain alcohol. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
The formulas that I'll recommend, it's grape alcohol. So it's a little cleaner than that. I'm hesitant to give you a full protocol right from the get-go because I feel like that may detox you too fast, too
Mm,
quickly.
mm,
You know
mm,
what I mean?
yes.
So I think that it will be better for you to focus on trying to clean up your body with the diet, like what you've been doing, not go too hard on any lymphatic herbs because you really need to focus on kidney filtration and achieving that before you start hitting it hard with any lymphatic formulas because then you're just going to create more pressure in your head and it's going to be unbearable. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm going to do. And the formulas that I'm going to recommend to you are going to be more like strengtheners. You need to strengthen your glands in order to be able to eliminate more properly, right? So you need to strengthen your adrenal glands. There's a huge chronic adrenal gland on both sides of your eyes. That's controlling your heart rate, your anxiety, your bowel movements, your breathing, everything. It's controlling everything, okay?
Yes.
You're not having like enough anti-inflammatory steroid production, which is why like you have all this acidosis in your stomach, all these different types of things. So like at this point when we're starting off, I'm really going to focus on your gland health. But when you first start off on the formulas, I'm going to recommend don't start off on the full dosage.
Mhm.
Start off very small and then work your way up. Okay. So the first few days, if you want to just test out one formula, just starting off just one formula, you can test out your adrenal formula, right?
Mhm.
Do like 1 or 2 drops and take that in
Yeah.
some water, right? Take that. See how you feel. If you feel good the next few hours, you can increase it the next day to 5 drops, and then a little more each
Mhm.
day and see
Mhm.
how you feel
Yes.
until you're able to go to the full dosage. If you're able to go to the full dosage, then that's going to be fantastic. Then that means that you're going to be able to go on the full protocol much faster, right? But just start off slow because we don't want to hit it too hard. Even though these are strengtheners, you could still possibly like have some reaction to like the herbs in there, okay? But
Yes.
with that in mind, I'm going to keep your protocol very much about strengthening. We're going to focus on your diet, trying to do most of the cleaning itself. That way you can have a much better time eliminating. So now I have you heard about kidney filtration and like me speaking about it in the videos?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Okay. Have you checked to see if your kidneys are filtering?
Yeah, actually, I did a couple
Mhm.
times. So one time it was pretty clear, actually very clear. Very few, you know, floaters, very tiny ones. And then the second time it was a bit, you know, not as clear. Um, but I don't know how to judge, to be honest. I don't know how to judge, you know, what
If
exactly.
it's okay, yeah, if it's like a lot or a little bit, okay. So
Yeah.
we want to see as much of the filtration as possible in your bowels. So if you can start off seeing at least something, anything, that's I'm going to applaud you. That's going to be great, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I believe that once we incorporate these formulas to address your adrenal glands, that will help you detox even more and you'll see more kidney filtration because
Mm-hmm.
what we're seeing here is you have a chronic kidney weakness and a chronic adrenal weakness. And then you have a pituitary weakness.
Mm-hmm.
These weaknesses are influencing your kidney filtration, which is why you're not seeing too much. But once we throw these in there and you start taking these, you'll see more kidney filtration. So to relieve your body of all these health issues you're having, you're going to want to see a lot more filtration than you've seen. Like
Yes.
it's not enough just to see like a few little, flakes. You should be seeing a lot of sediments. Like it's either going to look like cloudy urine or thick sediment on the bottom or mucus strands floating around. You should see
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that. If you don't see that, then your body's going to try and purge in other ways. Um, in the beginning, you might not see kidney filtration for a while. Like sometimes it might take the glands some time to, perk up and then you'll start to filter, right? Or
Yes.
sometimes the body will focus on just hydrating first, and then when it gets the chance, it'll start to filter. But if you're not filtering, or regardless if you're filtering or not, then the next thing is the colon. You want to see mucus in your stools, and you want to have like 3 bowel movements a day, or like 2 to 4 bowel movements a day, depending on how often you're eating, right? But if you've had like issues of constipation and then diarrhea and then back and forth, then you know that your bowels are a big mess, and you can expect to see
Mm-hmm.
mucus or parasites or sulfur elimination or anything that that is like nasty and gross. You'll see that
Mm-hmm.
expectorated in your stools. So if the kidneys are not able to filter, at least you'll have some relief and some purging through your colon, right?
Yes.
The next thing would be getting your skin to sweat more. But I can understand like people with like neurological disorders, they tend to have maybe they feel weird when they're in the presence of heat. So can you tell me, have you tried going into the sauna or being around heat trying to sweat, and what was your experience like?
Yes, yes. If I stay longer in sun, I don't feel
Yeah.
good, definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
How long are you able to stay in the sauna?
No, in sauna, I cannot. I mean, due
Oh,
to
at
I think
all. Okay.
no in sauna, no in sun. I mean,
Oh, in
like
sun.
in in summertime, when we have here in Ireland sometimes. So if it was like pretty sunny day, I'd go. I feel maybe in 10 minutes, I feel fatigued. I feel
Yeah.
fatigued. And also that what I experienced with baths long time ago, I didn't take bath now since 2013. So, but even before I used to take hot bath and then I would feel so tired after it. And then sauna, I wouldn't, I don't know if it's recommended even for me because I have
Not right now.
heart surgery. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
As far as I know, with those people have heart problems.
Uh-huh.
Better to avoid the heat and so on.
Hmm.
But in regards to sweating, actually, I am sweating more these days or
Good,
these
good.
months. These months, actually, if I don't know, is it got to color? I don't know, but
Mhm.
actually, I started to wake up during the night, and touching my chest. Maybe because I think maybe the drops, going along my skin and waking me up because I put my hand and I found, oh, I'm wet. My chest is wet. So this is what's happening on and off, not
Yeah.
every single night, but yeah, it does.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Is
The
it
more
good?
you, yes, this is good. You want to see this. Because like I'll tell you this much, looking at your eyes, you have like a lot of lymph node stagnation.
Yeah.
So like I don't know if you noticed or if you know a bit about iridology, but like around the periphery of the iris, you have like these white like blobs or like
Hmm.
circles, like pale yellow, and those are your lymph nodes backing up.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so that is a big concern. When your lymph nodes back up, then they start to get hard. And you don't want them to get hard because if they get hard, then that's when you're in trouble. That's when you're not able to, the lymph system's not able to carry the waste out of
Hmm.
the tissue and then move it through the lymph vessels and take it to the kidneys. So you're backed up in certain areas. And I'll tell you this much, you're really backed up along the spine. you know,
Yeah.
along the spine, thoracic spine, lumbar spine, sacral spine, bladder, kidney, that whole, kidney, adrenal region, the reproductive region, you're very backed up in those.
Mm.
You're not too backed up where your upper diaphragm is, your spleen, your hand. But once we start getting into your chest, this is where the lymph node congestion begins again. Your
Okay.
breast, your lungs,
Yeah.
your ear, your neck, your head,
Mm.
that's when it starts to back up
It's
again.
armpits,
So,
plenty. Yeah, I feel armpits pain actually. I have not pain, ache. I have ache, and even these days I have even sometimes it's on and off. Periodically comes my breast, as if, uh,
fibrocystic breast, right?
yes, as if as if something is inside happening, like boiling, or it's not really heat, but something is
Ah,
happening there. That
it's
sensation.
it's inflammation. Do you ever feel like pain in your breasts?
I do. Yeah, I do sometimes. Yeah,
Like just randomly?
randomly. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
especially. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is yeah, I feel like I have to tell you this. Like one of your biggest weaknesses, again, like on top of the kidney and adrenal weakness that you have a big weakness in your upper left breast. So you
Left,
really, yeah,
left.
the upper left breast,
Uh-huh.
and then let me see how your right breast looks like, as well as your upper right breast. You have both. You
Mm-hmm.
have a big lacuna.
Mm.
It kind of looks like
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
like a
Uh-huh.
teardrop shape or
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah, anytime that we see lacunas or tissue weakness, that's a setup for more issues there. So it makes sense that you said you had like issues of like, with your breast or fibrocystic breast or anything like that, because over time, if you didn't detox and did something about it, that can turn into a breast tumor. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we must detox, but I feel like your body's really trying. If your chest is already sweating, that's acids trying to come out from that area, from your breast. So that's a good job um,
Mm-hmm.
on your body's part, which I'm really happy about. But we're gonna have to be more vigorous as we go along, digging deeper in order to resolve these weaknesses, because like your left breast, the lacuna is there, but it's not too closed off, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if
Yeah.
like if it's completely closed off, that means like there's no nutrition going in there, there's no circulation, there's nothing there, like tissue decay is happening rapidly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on your left breast there's a lacuna, but it's a bit open, which is good. But
Mm-hmm.
on your right breast, I'd say is a little more closed off,
Mm-hmm.
which is not too good. So
Yeah.
we have to go in there and promote more of the astringency factors and circulation factors to get things moving. The problem is your lymph nodes, the state of your lymph nodes, what are they like? So do you have any swelling of your lymph nodes in your body anywhere?
I did have in my right armpit
Mm.
some problem 2012 or something like this, and then I went to doctors. They checked. They said, yeah, there is a bit of swelling, but that's okay in your age, and this, you know,
They
30 plus.
usually say like, okay, your period, and it's kind of like common. That's what they
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah. They say it's
Yeah.
common that they did ultrasound on my right breast because I complain of ache here and there. So then they checked. They said nothing wrong with you. Just it happens like this, and just
Okay.
yeah.
So, yeah, so these are just warning signs of the body. Even if there's nothing happening now, if they, go in there and perform all these different tests and scans and things like that, it doesn't mean that, like acids don't just stay there and look pretty. They go in there and they continue to damage cells, right?
Mm.
So, yeah, this is something that is of great concern that we need to address. On top of everything else that you've mentioned to me, like you have that set up to where that area can become a bigger problem, and we don't want like any tumors forming in your breast, right?
Sure.
So,
But but
well,
but can you
mhm.
see if there are any tumors formed or
So
it's not necessary really to know this?
with yeah, with iridology, I can't make a diagnosis.
Uh-huh.
So like I can't look at your eyes and diagnose you with a tumor, or I can't diagnose you with any sort of disease like
Okay.
that. It only shows me the root causes
Mm-hmm.
of what you're experiencing right now in your body.
Right.
I can tell you if with this weakness,
Yeah.
you may have one or you may get one in the future.
Yes. Yes.
Like it's headed in that
Mm.
direction, if not now. But right now you wouldn't, it's not important for you to know,
Yeah. Yeah.
because regardless of whether you know or not, you're still going to be following the same protocol. You're still going to
Exactly.
be following the same detox path, right?
Yes,
And
exactly.
it's better. You don't want to biopsy anything and create more tissue
No,
that
no, 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 no. I don't want anything. So I'm ready to leave this life, this world, but just I don't want to go that route. I just, I'm disgusted really of, this allopathic.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's a cruel machine. It's a cruel machine, and they don't really know what they're doing. They're just running around unaware. But okay,
Yes,
so yeah.
and regarding the limbs, Aileen, I had maybe 4 years ago on my okay, at the back of the neck, at the right side, I had really, it was enlarged, the lymph. I didn't understand what is it, but then it went away. And at the same time, actually, I had blisters in my head. It's like a crust, and when I remove it, the I probably it's a lymph or something was leaking out of them.
Lymphatic sewage. It's like crust or
Yeah,
dandruff,
yeah.
anything like that is just trying to come out. Yeah.
Oh, and it's sticky. It's sticky. I remember. It's like
Oh.
sticky liquid. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, yeah. I mean, definitely you have all this going on. I'm going to, let me see. I'm trying to see what we're gonna focus on next. I did want to ask you more questions to see like a little bit more about like your stats and your bowel movements and things like that. So we're going to move on ahead and ask you about these sort of things.
Yeah.
And then after I'm done asking you those questions, I'm going to pull up your eyes so that I can show you all the different weaknesses, ones that we haven't covered yet, okay?
Sure.
So tell me right now, currently, how many bowel movements do you typically have each day?
Usually I'd have in the morning when I wake up, I go to toilet. But now recently I have diarrhea, so I'm going more often. So it would be 2, 3 times per day. Yeah.
Okay.
But
So,
usually it's once in the morning.
okay. So are you going 3 times a day or are you going 6 times a day? How
No,
often are
no,
you
no,
going
no,
right
not
now?
six, not three times.
Okay, 3 times. Okay, okay. So you're going number two, 3 times a day. Okay.
Yeah, no, usually once per day. That would be in the morning. But recently,
Recently.
yeah, only recently, maybe because I tried juicing carrots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also eat grated raw carrots. So that was 1 week ago, and I think that it has connection. That I started to go more to the toilet, and it's more loose actually, even more loose than before. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Like your body's really trying to purge everything out. So we don't want to see too much diarrhea during your detox. We really try and have to control that to create formed stools, okay?
Mm,
Because if at any point you are seeing a lot of diarrhea, even like liquid coming out for too long, like let's say longer than a week, then that's not good. That means you'll be losing a lot of your electrolytes and you will be malnourishing yourself, okay? So
mm,
we would have to slow down your bowel movements at that point.
mm,
So we have, the reason I ask you this is that we have different bowel formulas based on how often you go.
yes.
It seems like your bowels are quite unpredictable.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So I'm going to probably give you two different formulas to take, okay?
mm-hmm.
One for when you're having trouble going to the toilet, and then another one for if you're going too much,
Okay.
right? So two different ones, and then you see which one you need, okay? Like let's say uh stomach and bowel formula, or GI renew formula number 0 or number 1 is what you would take for diarrhea, right? But if you're having trouble going, or if you only go once a day, then maybe number 3 would be better for you, or number 2. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you how to take it in your herbal protocol and the dosages and things like that. But that would be something that you would need right now. Like that's the formula that has some lymphatic herbs, but that you absolutely need to take. You need to take a bowel formula because that's where all your symptoms are coming from. That's
Mm.
where your root problem is the entirety of the GI tract. So
Oh, wow.
going in there and like inspiring a bit more of a lymphatic flow
Mm.
and healing and draining the colon, hopefully your head will start to drain sooner rather than later. You know what I mean? Because
Yes,
the head sits right on top of the colon, lymphatically speaking. So if
yes.
we start tugging and pulling on the colon and healing that, then the body will start be given the chance to drain. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
automatically, yes.
automatically, right?
Mm.
So, and then maybe you'll see like some more inspired cold and flu-like symptoms. Hopefully, the best thing that you could see is getting your sinuses draining or spitting out mucus or sneezing or anything like that, right?
Mm. Mm.
You want to see those things to relieve these head issues.
Mm.
Um, and then, like, in order to repair your nervous system, you're going to need to focus on fruits quite soon, whenever you're able to, because
Yes.
fruits and the raw food diet, that's the only thing that can regenerate the nervous system. That's the only thing. You can't do it on cooked foods. But for right now, we'll focus on colon cleansing, and then we'll focus on kidney filtration, and then we'll focus on repairing the nervous system. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's kind of like whatever you're able to handle. Either way, you'll be moving in the right direction. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, like, uh, like the GI Renew, that's what you're going to be on. The brain and nerve formula, you definitely need to be on that one to support your nervous system. Any gland weaknesses like your adrenal and pituitary, I want to start putting you on things like that, and a kidney formula. As we go along, we'll see, and I'll mention other formulas that you might be able to take. But to start you off with, I'm a little hesitant to put you on like a lymph node formula because it might be too strong for you. I can add it in there, and you can see like whenever you're ready, you can put in like a drop,
Mm.
a drop at a
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
If you're able to handle the other formulas that I mentioned first,
Yes. Yes. Of
and
course.
then you can test the waters and start adding lymph node because you need lymph node. Your lymph nodes are suffering badly. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
Okay. But yeah, I hope like things aren't like too complicated. Like we're having like sort of like a free talk, like free form, free flowing talk here. I'm trying to like cover everything, but it'll be like definitely like a straightforward plan
Mm.
after our call. Everything will be written out. That way there's like no guesswork. You'll know what to do, what time of day, how to do it, okay?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And so, speaking about more about your bowels, have you in the past ever seen like any mucus coming out of your bowels?
No, I
No
don't think
clear
so.
mucus, nothing like that? Okay.
Um, Actually, maybe some years ago, maybe it's in 2013 when the onset of the big drama that I have. Maybe that time, but it was, oh, I didn't go to toilet for 2 weeks. Given that I didn't eat anything almost, but still I had something and I couldn't take it out, and yeah, it was like a plasticine. It was like a plasticine. I had to do the enema and then to use some gloves and take it out of my fingers even. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it didn't come out.
So it felt trapped in there.
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay.
And this, Aileen, I found that every time I took antibiotic course, within a month time, things got worse.
Oh my
Within
God.
a month time. And, they give me antibiotics just in case, because, if I have a baby or like I had DNC with a miscarriage, just in case, for my heart, my poor heart, because it defected. So I've been fed with those. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Would you go back on antibiotics again?
No, I can't. I
Yeah,
can't.
I was gonna say.
It's a death sentence.
It is. It is. It really is. It's locking your lymphatic system further.
Yeah.
In your In your left eye, I see more of this sulfur drug deposits from the antibiotics,
Mm-hmm.
particularly around your uterus and around your pancreas and around the colon and a bit on the sinus and head region. That's where it's attached itself to. So, and of course, like now a little bit, it's been moving to the lymph nodes, which is worrisome, which is why we have to start pumping this lymph
Yes.
system.
Yes.
Now, is it the worst I've ever seen? No, which is good. because sometimes I see so much sulfur, like the whole middle of the eye turns yellow. That's when we're in really big trouble.
Mm.
That's when it can be even more difficult, right? And then there's some in your abdominal wall, like some sulfur there. So yeah, try, like, well, you already said you're not going to do it. Don't take antibiotics anymore,
No.
because it's just going to add to the fire. Okay. So I was going to ask you something else, like, okay, now, have you ever taken any other medications in the past for your health issues?
Mm. They prescribed me with PPI,
Mm-hmm.
but I was very bad at taking them,
Okay.
you know. So it didn't last for long really. And then they gave me beta blockers. And again, I took it just for maximum 2 months and not every single day. I am very fussy, I really hate those chemicals. And actually beta blocker even, I began to react to it. Whenever I took, I would have very, very heavy body, heavy limbs. Like,
Oh,
in a
wow.
span of 5 minutes, I would be very heavy, so I stopped it. And
Okay.
then yeah, twitches and muscle twitches in my face and things like that. So no.
Yeah. With people with weakened nervous system and adrenals, they tend to not be able to handle any chemical medications really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. Okay. Now, have you ever done like any fasting in the past? Or any experience with fasting?
Yeah, I'm a Muslim, so we do Ramadan fasting, which
Okay.
is, I mean, we eat after the sun is set. So, so I would still
Okay.
be eating something, not a lot, of course. Stomach is,
Okay.
shrinking, but something lengthy, like, no, nothing of that
Mm,
sort.
Okay, yeah. Like, here's the thing. Many people that practice Ramadan, it's unfortunate because I wish people knew, you're fasting all day, but then you break your fast with the heaviest foods.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's very harmful, this back and forth,
Mm,
going from a deep detoxification state when you're dry fasting
mm,
to having like such a heavy cooked meal at night, trying to like, make up for the amount of calories that you didn't take throughout
yeah.
the day. This can set spasticity in the stomach and colon itself and can damage it over time. The body becomes very confused
Mm,
and can't handle this back and forth. This
mm,
is just from what I've seen. People that practice that, they tend to be very malabsorbed, very skinny, and have stomach and colon issues. So, like anyone can get these issues, but there might be like something to do with that. But now that you know better, when you do practice this, then you'll be able to have more awareness,
mm,
right?
mm.
And not eat something so heavy. You can eat something more raw based in the
Yeah,
future,
yeah.
you
No,
know?
actually, I wasn't that. I wouldn't eat like, you know, those sweets and what usually people eat. I would eat lighter than that. Uh,
Oh, good, good.
yes, because I'm a revert. You see, I'm not from those countries really. So my food is I'm from Europe actually.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but still, I could be, I could do lighter than that. Yes, definitely.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So, yeah, that's good that you have that awareness.
Mm,
So like even now, like moving forward, in the future, like hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later.
yeah.
But at some point during your detox where you'll able to handle more fruits again and things like that, and you're going to be all raw,
Mhm,
then that's when we can, after like a month or two on that, then that's when we can think about doing like some sort of mono fruit fasting, just to dig deeper into
mhm,
your body. So things like, mono grapes, mono oranges, mono melons, mono berries, things like that, right?
mhm.
For now, not right now, but that's going to be in the future. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, in terms of where you do your produce shopping, I know you don't buy fruit too much now, but would you say there's good quality fruit where you live?
No,
There's no
unfortunately,
good
no,
ones? Okay.
no.
Where do you do your food shopping in general? Like, where do you buy those sweet potatoes and carrots?
Supermarkets.
Supermarket? Do you buy it organic?
No, there is no option. There is no such an
No
option.
organic option?
No, not sweet potatoes, definitely. I only get organic carrots. Then we,
Okay.
yeah, then we can get organic cucumber, onion, oranges. Really few things only.
Okay. Um, do they have things like farmers markets or like fresh local produce
Yeah,
option?
somewhere in Ireland, definitely. Yeah, I think they do.
Okay. So the more you're able to handle more foods, right? I want you to, instead of getting supermarket options, I want you to go more towards local options
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
because that's going to have the energy and vibrancy in order to regenerate your nervous system. The food in the supermarkets, it's been sitting there for weeks on end. You don't know how old it is when it was picked, okay? And a
Yes.
lot of the times it's underripe or overripe, which
Mm,
with your sensitive stomach, you won't be able to handle things like that. So, I would say like seek out local options, farmers market options,
mm, mm.
where you're coming in contact with the farmers and things like that, right?
Yes.
Um, if you're not sure, you have to ask them if they spray pesticides on their foods, you know.
Mm,
They'll be honest, they'll say yes or no, and then that's fine. You can move along. With your nervous system weakness, you have to try and avoid neurotoxicity at all costs,
mm-hmm.
at all costs. So, especially when you start eating greens, you can't have any greens that have pesticides on them because then you're going to feel your symptoms emerging again. You're going to feel your heart racing. You're going to feel, all these different head issues, head symptoms. You're going to feel anxiety. All these things can come up
Mm-hmm.
because since you're like your lymph system's so backed up that this whole time it's been holding on to any form of chemical you've come into contact with throughout your life. And so you're overburdened, overabundant in these chemicals. So that's
Okay.
why you have to avoid them. If you put them in your body, you're going to get a response. It's like a trigger.
Mm,
So
mm.
try and avoid those as best as you can. Do you think that's going to be possible or doable?
Well, I have we have organic carrots. Again, how organic they are, I don't know because it's
Mm-hmm,
from supermarket.
mm-hmm.
But I might try and see with local farmers. But again, like I don't think so in Ireland here. The climate is not, I don't know. Maybe they grow apples. I don't think so. They grow grapes and
Yeah.
you
Pull
know.
up pull up like you can go like on Google and say like, local produce, like seasonal produce in Ireland and see what comes up. See
Mm,
what options you have. And
yeah.
then seek those out. Because that will give you power to your nervous system and glands more so than supermarket fruit. Not to say that you can't have supermarket food, like you're not going to fill all the holes in with local produce, but if you can do the best you can with that, you'll heal faster.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, yeah. So, I would say if you have the opportunity, I would recommend relocating somewhere. But if you
Yeah,
have the chance to do it, because there's some places in the world it's more difficult to detox.
exactly. I feel it. I feel it, Aileen. And even the climate here in Ireland, it affects me so much, actually. It's so damp here, and the
Oh, it's
clouds are
damp.
so low, around this ocean, and the clouds are so low, and we get very little sun, and I feel it affects me 100%, 100%. If the clouds low, that's it. I will feel stagnation in my
Depressed.
body. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Stagnation,
yeah.
stagnation of the blood, of the lymph. I don't know what's happening. It just feels stagnant.
Yeah, yeah. This
Yeah.
dampness. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I understand. Okay.
So yeah,
So
I'm looking forward to relocate. Yeah.
you need to move somewhere that it's sunny,
Mm,
that, you'll be able to handle the sun more and more as
mm,
you heal and stay raw and stay the course. But definitely dampness can create just this sort of congestion that you feel in your body, like, you know, it's better to live somewhere where it's like maybe more mountainous, where it's fresher air, not really by the water because you can feel that dampness.
yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. So try and find that best place. And do you have like that in your vision? Like, have you discussed that with your husband, or like either permanently moving somewhere else or
Yeah.
temporarily moving somewhere else?
Yeah, we are thinking actually. Yes, because I feel that enough is enough. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. And we really also have to think about relocating because it could be the place that you're living in. Maybe there's something, some sort of environmental factor that's causing you more health issues. So
Definitely.
it can be a lot of things. Something in your home, the weather, the people, the vibration, like the
Mhm.
lack of fruit or good food, a lot of
Yes,
things.
yes,
So
yes.
yeah.
Right.
So look into that. That's what I highly recommend. The people that are successful, they relocate um to
Mm.
somewhere where it's more sustainable to be raw long term.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, if you can give me your current blood pressure or
Current.
like your most recent one.
Yes, I think I wrote on I think it was 110 on 60, and
Okay,
that's
okay.
that's usually what I get. Sometimes it goes to 70, 110 to 70. When I go to doctor, somehow it's heightened. But what I do at home, I do the mechanical one, the no, no, not the electrical.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
so it's 110 and 60 last time. Was it 2 weeks
okay.
or so?
Okay, 2 weeks ago. Okay.
Mm.
So there's a chance that as you move forward in this protocol, your top number 110 is going to go lower.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very common for those with adrenal weakness like yourself. It'll go down to the low hundreds or maybe even the 90s. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when this happens, you may feel things like low blood sugar or fatigue issues,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So those are things that you're going to have to battle during your detox. So again, like all those detox symptoms coming up, your glands showing you their true weaknesses, that can come up as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, like I have that in my awareness to give you herbal support to help you through that, as best as we can. But I would recommend checking your blood pressure. You can check it like once a week and see how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, it's going to go down, and then the more you heal your glands, it'll climb back up
Mm-hmm.
to 120 over 60. That's the healthy blood pressure number you want to see, 120 over 60, or as close to that as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, and in any future follow-ups that we have together, I'll ask you like how's your blood pressure doing, all these different types of things. But speaking of like follow-ups, I do recommend like you following up with me. I don't know how often it is you wanted to follow up with me, but since there's like going to be a lot of changes being made,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like it'll be like an up and down journey. I would recommend not letting too much time pass by before we speak again.
Yes.
So, like, if you want to do it once a month or once every 2 months, something like that,
Yes.
or as often as you need to, I would recommend it because, in all honesty, it's going to be like it's going to be changing a lot,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
if you let too much time pass by, it'll be difficult for me to gauge what it is that you need.
Yes. Yes. I understand. Yes. Yeah. So we'll
Okay.
see. I think once a month would be good.
Okay, the once a month thing? Okay. So yeah, so as soon as I like receive, well, rather, as soon as I finish up like, reading all the notes that I've been taking during this call and I apply that to your protocol, once I send that, like your results email,
Mm-hmm.
it'll have the follow-up link on there so that you can go in that link, do the follow-up, like you can pick on the calendar, and doing it sooner rather than later is going to be the best option because for the follow-ups, like it can tend to like back up like 2 months down the line.
Okay.
So, scheduling your follow-up soon, that way you get seen sooner. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but like I really want to help you out with this and I'm determined and I know you can heal from this.
Yes, yes. Well, yes, I hope so. Another thing, Aileen, I want to tell you, have you ever heard about hijama?
Hijama, what is that?
It's a cupping. It's a cupping, but not the dry one. You know the dry one Chinese they do. They take cups, they create that pressure vacuum.
Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, the cupping.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so there is a dry one and there is a wet one. What does it mean wet? So it's created
Okay.
that vacuum, then they remove the cups and then
Yeah.
they slit very tiny, just very superficially. And then they put, I don't know how many slits, and then they put back those cups again, creating that pressure. And what happens? is the bad stuff, the bad blood, which is dead actually, with dead cells comes out, and this is a very good detoxification tool.
Yeah, the bloodletting. Yeah, this
Yeah,
goes back to many centuries ago. This
yeah.
is like how they actually started, practicing medicine or practicing healing in
Mm,
the olden days. This is the only thing that they really had was
mm.
bloodletting.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But not
Um.
the vein, not from the vein, because they used to have from vein, which is a bit dangerous.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This actually, they found that only the bad blood comes out, which is staying there for, years, and is in tissues, in inside the tissues, and it really needs to be, to get it out. So I am actually you see, I'm not finished with that, the other doctor, and of course I'm going to stick to your and not to jump between her and you. But regarding hijama, since it's something, our prophet, our beloved prophet, he told us to do, saying that this is one of the best remedies, go for it. So I'm actually planning having it on March. I'm flying to my friend, she's in UK, she's doing it.
Oh,
So yes, I just want to let you know that, about this,
okay.
this thing. And my doctor, she told me the points exactly where I have to do. So there are 15 points across the body.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Are they going to be mostly on your back?
yes, actually yes. The back of the neck, the seventh vertebra, and then along the spine a bit, and on the hips, then a few on the back of the knees, and couple the front, the middle of the chest, and then somewhere around the solar plexus area. Um, and
Okay.
then on my feet, the top part of the feet, not the soles,
Okay.
but yeah. So that,
Okay.
yeah.
Have you had like, well, you said you had your blood work done, everything was normal, right?
Well, white blood cell actually is low, but they say it's okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
oh. How low was it? Like how many points off?
Oh, can't really tell you right now, Elaine.
Okay.
I have to check. They said,
Oh, uh-huh.
it's okay. It's like not too bad, or
Okay.
but
Okay.
I haven't had that before when I was healthy. It's not really healthy, but
Okay.
healthier, let's say. I never had this, but it started maybe 2 years after I had this major issue.
Okay.
Since the seven, so maybe around 2015, I start to have it. And then also, ferritin was low, and now my hemoglobin also got low because I stopped supplementing myself. I used to supplement.
Okay. Ferritin and hemoglobin are low. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you're having a lot of circulation issues, a lot of like blood cell production issues. This can come from different areas of the body. Liver, spleen, bone marrow are all involved in that, are all involved in blood count, hemoglobin, and white blood cell count. So if that is the case, you, I'm very, very like I do believe that we should include those formulas in your herbal protocol just to see if we can pick those numbers back up again. And also for your white blood cell count specifically, because it'll, even if it's not like too bad now, if it keeps on going down, then that's worrisome. So we have to pick them back up. All right.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
in terms of the cupping, I was just wondering because you wouldn't want to like have like any sort of bleeding if you're having trouble with like your platelets because then that would be dangerous. So, yeah, I think that depending on how you feel, I mean, I know your body's very sensitive. Hopefully you're going to be able to handle the cupping and things like that. I haven't had someone that's come to me that wasn't able to handle it. So it might make you feel more energized and more invigorated. And if it does, please let me know. Okay.
Yes. So you had some patients who actually done that, yes?
They've done cupping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's to the extent of the type of cupping that you're talking about,
Okay.
but
Okay.
you know what I mean? Yeah, but I know that I've had some clients do cupping, and it's kind of like they do other like therapies that they feel okay with, or that they feel
Yes.
like makes them feel a little better. And I'm not opposed to that. Like people that do acupuncture or chiropractic work or massage therapy, or like all these different types of things. I think that they're helpful in including into your detox plan. Just as long as you let me know what it is that you're doing, so I could see if if your body can handle it.
Yes. Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so let me know about that
Yes.
um afterwards. Now, can you tell me what does your day-to-day life look like currently? Like what is it that you do throughout the day? Like people that you live with, who do you come into contact with? What are your hobbies? Things like that.
Hmm. Yeah, so I live with my husband and my two children, and nearby lives my parents and my brother with family, and then I have sister also. So I get enough, to socialize. Although I don't feel I integrated here in Ireland, I feel actually this lack, of integration. I feel like one, not one of them. I don't feel like one of them, and that does sometimes feel like a, I don't know,
Mhm.
when I go out shopping or something, I feel like I'm, plus since I revert to Islam, I start to wear, scarf and things like that. People, they have their prejudice, and they look at me,
Mhm.
potential danger or something, I don't know.
Oh man,
Yeah, so there is
just
this
ignorance.
actually. Yeah, there is this kind of tension. Yeah, there is a bit.
Tension. Okay.
Yeah, there is a bit of tension. But but I read, books and some articles, and try to help myself with the confidence, self-esteem issues, and self-love and things like that. So there is improvement, actually, a lot of improvement during these years. But yeah, I like being indoors, to be honest, Aileen. I like
Okay.
being. I feel that being
You
out.
feel safe?
Yeah, and I feel that people sucks. I feel like I'm being sucked. My
Your
energy.
energy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like energy vampires. Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to blame anyone. I don't want to blame. I feel like it's maybe my weaknesses. I'm not strong or something, physically, even physically maybe, not necessarily because I before, yes, I did feel that, but not to such a degree as now. So I feel that there is, it's correlated.
Okay, I
Um,
see.
yes,
Yeah, it's
definitely.
it's strength within yourself. When your glands are strong, you're strong and you believe in yourself
Mm,
100%. So you have that confidence that's exuding, right? And
mm,
so when you're, more on like the timid side, insecure, shy, or like if you feel like you need to please people, or like what are they thinking about me, things like that,
yeah.
that does rob your energy. So,
I was
but
like this. I was like this all my life, I was like
mhm.
this all my life, pleasing others and trying to fit, always trying to fit, and yeah. But actually, even this during this health journey, which shook me, I did actually have some shifts, even though my
Oh yeah.
glands weren't strong, probably weak, but still I had some shifts, and some beautiful things actually happening, like I felt, compassion first time in my life, and
Oh
gratitude.
wow. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
so there were, and anyway, you asked me about what my day looks like. So yes, I study at home, my
Oh,
religion.
beautiful.
I mean, my religion is nothing to do with,
Uh-huh.
academics, so we
Hmm.
have lessons, how to recite, and how to, also spirituality.
Hmm.
So pretty, I would say, yeah, I start in the morning, kids, they go to school, and then we have around 2 hours with teacher, discussing about the, issues related to heart and life and hereafter.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I'm actually, yeah, I have many classes. I have many classes, but at the same time, I'm at home. I'm, all is good. It feels, it's under control. And then I go cook, then I go rest, and then it's
Okay.
good. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Although I feel like whenever I feel more energy, I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like I want to help people out
Mhm.
there who need me, and especially when I was sick, 2013, I was in a hospital, and I've seen those people so sick, the older people, and I said, if I ever get better, I'm going to go on voluntary, I'm gonna
Oh,
volunteer and
you have such a big heart.
yeah,
Oh,
so yeah, but
goodness.
I'm looking for that actually. I'm looking for that.
So that's like your main like calling in life, would you
Yeah.
say?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I feel like, I'm kind of wasting my time. I feel in a way it's a comfort zone, but at the same time I feel I'm wasting my time because I'm not doing something, major. I don't know if it's major, so I don't know how to put it, but yeah.
Okay. Well, you feel this calling for coming from your heart and you just want to contribute, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just because you're suffering with all this pain, it's kind of like forcing you to constantly look within and just be in your
Yeah.
pain that
Oh,
you're
yeah.
having trouble associating with the outside world. Of
Yeah.
course, like anyone would. If you're in constant pain, you don't even think about the outside world.
Yeah.
You're just trapped within your body, so you want to
Exactly.
be more expansive.
Mm.
That's really great goal to have. The trouble is that when you're detoxing, once you start to get this energy coming into your body from all the fruits and produce that you'll start to be eating, you have to like kind of, slow down a little
Yeah.
bit. You
Yeah.
can't get ahead of yourself and start, ruling the entire world like
Overestimating. Yeah.
because then you will end up back in the same place you were before. So detox is very much like I always say it's your time to be selfish and take care of yourself now
Yeah.
because it's usually the opposite that was true. You usually put your needs last and put other needs first all these years, and this has caused a lot of stress and tension in your body.
Mm.
So you have to now just focus on healing yourself and like you're the center of your world during this time. And then once you've healed everything and you feel capable of helping others, then
Mm.
that's when you can move along and do that. But I'd say for like the next year, just focus on yourself. That's
Oh,
what I urge you to do.
yes, yes, Ailin. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
And then yeah, and then you'll be able to like teach other people what you learned through your experiences. You may be
yeah,
able to help out all these people that are
yeah,
suffering,
yes. I hope
right?
so. Yes.
Yeah, well, I love that you have that goal in mind. I love that you have like a very relaxing lifestyle, it seems, which is
Mhm.
good. It means that you have full control, you have the time needed when you need to relax and rest during detox symptoms, then you're able to do that.
Yeah.
And then you have support from your family, which is
Mm.
good. Okay?
Yes.
So, yeah. But I want you to feel happy in all aspects of your life. The location, you'll get to that. And even like you said before, you've already come to like all these epiphanies and realizations. You'll see
Mhm.
more of that. The more you heal, you'll find out more about yourself. Like
Yes.
you'll flower more into who you
Yes.
truly were meant to be.
Yes. Yes, Ailin. Looking forward, really. Yes.
Yeah, me too. So let's talk a little bit more about well, let me see. I'm gonna discuss or try and find these questions, if we haven't covered them yet, about your health history. We've already talked about many of these. I'm just trying to see if we didn't discuss some of them. Okay, so in terms of vaccinations, did you ever receive any vaccinations?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay, at what age?
All vaccinations that were, prescribed. I don't know how many, and when I was little. Anyways, my
When you
mom,
were
she
little.
did all of them.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Any like in your teen years or young adult years?
I can't recall that. No, I can't recall. I cannot say again, cannot say, no, but I cannot remember anything.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Are you currently taking any other supplements? Like I know you mentioned the tissue salts.
Yes, yes. I do
You're
use
taking
a
those?
little bit sometimes, not really as I supposed to be honest, but I took a Kali one recently because I thought maybe it will help a little bit relax my stomach during nighttime, not to cause this heart, attack,
Yeah.
which is, yeah, pretty
Okay.
scary.
Okay. You will not need those later on. I'm not gonna say for you to stop taking them because it's kind of like your way of coping right now.
Mm,
But don't feel like you're not gonna stay on them forever.
yeah,
We're gonna
yeah,
move you out
sure,
of those things,
sure.
right? I'm going to still put you on the heart formula because the hawthorn berry in that formula is excellent when it comes to, healing like any sort of heart symptoms, especially if they're stemming from like adrenal gland weakness or nervous system weakness, it still
Mm,
helps it out. So
mm,
I'll recommend that because that seems to be like one of just, the symptoms that worries you the most. So,
yes.
the heart tincture, that's going to start to, get to the root cause of all those things.
Hmm.
Um, Let me see. Now, in terms of your spine, have you ever had issues with your spine?
No,
You've
no.
never, do you feel like any weakness
Oh,
anywhere
yes,
along your
yes.
back?
Oh, yes, I
Okay.
do. I do. I mean, no injuries. I mean, nothing
No
major.
injuries.
Yeah,
Okay. No
but
falls, nothing like that?
no, 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 no. But
Okay.
yes, I do have aches somewhere sometimes when I have a flare up, and also numbness, and also shooting like a numbness shooting up the spine. And that would be rare. That I would have these a lot in my teenage years when they found I have lesions in my brain, and they were thinking what's happening with me. Doctors, they didn't know because I had many, as I wrote to you, many neurological symptoms, and like lights in my vision field, and then the vision field would be like widening or narrowing, and also or I don't know, was it panic attack? I don't know, to be honest, but what I would feel, I remember like this. I sit in the classroom and I'm like struggling with my vertigo, but suddenly I start to feel not well. What does that mean? I'm going off myself. I'm switching off from myself, from the perception of me, of my body, of then I feel.
So,
Mhm.
sorry to cut you
Yeah,
off. Would you say that it's more of like a depersonalization thing that you're going through?
yeah, yeah, I
Like you
think so.
feel like you're in a dream-like state?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, I see. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, then I would go to my teacher and ask to go to school nurse. Then I would go, and then it would, progress this.
Oh.
And then the climax, let's say, of this attack would be when I have, not every time would happen, but the climax would be when I feel a rush of energy going up the spine with the numbness, no pain, no ache whatsoever, but very uncomfortable, and it will go up and shoot to my head, and that's when I have vertigo, which is like,
Mm, yeah.
severe vertigo, and I don't feel my body. I have to touch myself, squeeze myself to back to feel that I am here, I'm in this body,
Mm-hmm.
and I would scream and shout, "Mama, mama, mama,"
Mm.
and she would hug me, and then I feel spinning, 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 spinning. I don't know how many minutes. I'm just screaming,
Okay.
shouting. That's, yeah.
Okay, yeah, definitely the nervous system firing off, the central nervous system, and then when you don't feel like you're in your body,
Mhm.
when you're there yourself, that's pointing to a hypothalamus weakness in the brain. So there's different regions of the brain called the reality OBS ADD region, which controls like your feeling of reality in here. There's the animation of life region, which really controls like your awareness. If you have like lack of awareness, then that can influence, but those two areas intersect the hypothalamus gland.
Mm, mm,
So, did you ever take like anything for your hypothalamus before?
I don't know. Mm,
Okay,
I don't
okay.
know.
Okay.
You see, there was surgery, my heart surgery done when I was 7 years of age. Yes,
Yeah,
7 years of age.
7 years. Okay.
Yeah, 7 years. And then this drama with my, I don't know, was it epilepsy, whatever, it started at around 11 years of age. So 4 years. And another thing, Ailin, I don't know if it's worth mentioning, but my daddy said that before heart surgery, I used to be very, very quiet girl. very quiet. And then after surgery, he said I became more aggressive, like a tomboy kind of in a way, not too much.
Mm.
And I thought, okay, since I read books, I said, okay, probably it's something to do with emotions, because it was really very
The heart
uh,
deals with the emotions. Mm-hmm.
yeah, because I was left alone there for 3 days and nights without anyone visiting, no mama, no daddy, 7 years of
Oh,
age. Yeah, and then even out of that
oh
also.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And nurses were not like, it was SSSR. It was like, Russian. We were under Russian, system. So, I mean, nurses were very cold. Nobody was around me just to feed me or change tubes or whatever. So I remember I just, look through the window. I cannot see because, the window were like in those, intensive care units that you cannot see, and I just remember,
Mm.
thinking maybe my mom is looking there, and then trying to,
Oh.
connect with me. I don't remember really myself crying a lot, but I definitely now know that all this somewhere is in my body suppressed.
Oh my God. You like really had to toughen up
Yeah,
during
yeah,
those
oh yeah,
days,
yeah.
and then that's why you resulted in like being like angry tomboy type feelings after the surgery. Okay.
Probably, yeah, probably. And then, of course, many, what is it called, antibiotics, and followed the surgery. And then after 4 years, I don't know, I feel somehow maybe there is a correlation. Why suddenly this brain, epilepsy and all this stuff happened to me. I
Yeah.
just,
Well, as you physically detox your body, you're going to be experiencing more of like these past traumas come up, you know?
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's really
Mm,
detox even involves the healing of trauma. And so you'll see that as emotional detox symptoms come up.
yeah.
Now, that can be a little scary for some because it's like you're finally like
Mhm.
you're coming face to face with your inner demons,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
things that you've brushed underneath the carpet, some stuff
Mhm.
that you're not even aware of that you don't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
It'll start to come up, but it's like your body has lodged that deep inside to try and like protect yourself from it because it felt like you couldn't deal with it. And
Mm-hmm.
so we've used like food or like other different comforts to suppress that as well
Yeah,
during
yeah,
our lifetime. That's why people can become emotional eaters. So,
yeah.
since you're going to be getting rid of like all these different crutches or all these different things to suppress emotions or even physical symptoms, then you'll have more and more opportunities during your detox to heal these past emotional traumas. And
Mm-hmm.
healing of emotional traumas on an energetic level, you can have like an energetic weight on your glands or on your different systems that's causing you symptoms. I've even seen that where people like how like sometimes people do emotional healing and some people heal just from doing like some people heal their physical ailments just by doing emotional healing or energetic work,
Yeah.
and this is because that's the main root cause for them.
Mm,
Not saying it's for everyone because most
yes.
of the time it's physical, but more often than not it's a combination of the both
Yeah.
physical and the emotional and energetic planes. So yeah,
Yeah.
so you have to like since you do a lot of study like every single day and you learn more about like life and like the heart and all these different connections with studying your religion, you're pretty much set up to have
Yeah. Oh,
success in
yeah.
this area.
Oh, yeah. And actually, I already experienced those
Yeah.
flashes, black flashes. Oh, yes.
Oh, I
Especially when I
believe
have a
it.
flare up. Oh, yes. I actually feel it as if I am there
Oh,
emotionally there. And it's so
okay.
black. It's so, but Aileen, when I have a flare up, when I have a flare up, when I'm okay, when I'm, don't play with food, and just stick to my sweet potato, and I happen to be in good mood, I'm just more focused I have. But whenever I have flare up, all the negativity, pity, self-pity, all this, and actually you feel like I'm back there, like I'm 15 or I'm 7 or so yeah, it's already taken place. But yeah, I'm looking forward to heal it, completely.
Yeah. Now, when you have these flare-ups, there's a formula that I'd like you to include, like I said before, include it or incorporate it slowly, but there's this formula called the spasm calm formula that helps bring down the spasticity of the nervous system. So if you start feeling anything like tremors or, dizziness or spinning, like anything like that, you can use this formula to help, calm down and strengthen the nervous system. So that's what I've used before, even with people with epilepsy and seizures, like, they can take that formula and their symptoms go away. So that formula helps control a lot of these neurological dysfunctions. So I'm going to be sure to include that in your protocol, but like I would say don't start taking it like right away. Well, again, you can start taking it slowly, but I would say see if you're able to handle it, like the tinier dosages. And then if you're able to handle tinier dosages, if you do come across or you do come into some sort of detox symptom, then you can take the full dropper full because you have already tested it out and seen that you're okay with it. So in that case, if you see a flare up like that, you can take the spasm calm formula whenever you feel like you need it, right? Now, let's see what else we have here. At this point, I guess I'll show you your eyes. I still have more questions about your health issues, but after I show you your eyes, then we'll go into that, okay?
All right, Ailin.
Okay, so I'm going to pull up your eyes here, and I'll share the screen as well. I'm just moving around some windows, making the image a little bigger so you can see it. Now, do you know about iridology?
Not a lot.
Okay, just from what you've heard in the videos?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, so the iridology reading that I do, it's essentially giving us a clear picture, a very direct picture of the organ and tissue and system weaknesses that we see in your body. So like there's no guesswork involved, it's right there, we can really see it,
Yes.
So
And actually, how I found you is, my the doctor that I've been working recently, she's doing iridology. And yes, and then I just typed in YouTube, and then that's how I found you.
Oh, that's so crazy. Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, I know that I have like one iridology video that's like very, very, like, I don't know what happened. Like it's like 30,000 views or something like that. It just took off. And so, yeah, a lot of people tell me that, but I'm happy that you found me that way because, it's gonna lead you to your healing, which is fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, so I have your eyes here. I labeled them out because there's quite a few weaknesses and I just wanted to make sure that we got everything. I'm going to send you a copy of this after, after our call and in your results email. But essentially here, I'm going to really break down what are the biggest weaknesses that you're facing in your body. Okay, so like we said before, let's start off with your stomach. You see how dark this middle is right here? And you're seeing like these lines coming out from the pupil. This area is your stomach. Okay. Now, when you have this darkness, you have some degeneration involved. The decay of tissue is not good. We have to like go in there and clear out all this lymphatic stagnation to get the stomach tissue to drain of cellular waste, to repair itself, to regenerate itself. Okay. So this is the stomach weakness. Now around here is just your colon in general, your GI tract in general. How thick this rope is pointing to all the acidosis that you have inside your bowel wall. So people that have all this interstitial lymphatic waste or interstitial lymphatic constipation in their bowel wall, you can see how this affects the head region. You see how much thicker this lymph and this mucus is compared to other areas of your eye or other areas of your body.
Yeah, it's dense, isn't it? More dense.
It's very, very dense. And you have weaknesses as well. We'll get into those, but you see how it's connected to the colon right here, right? So if you begin to drain out and clean out the colon, your head will start to drain and you'll start to experience these head issues less and less. That's going to be our goal, okay? But
Yes.
how to achieve this is, like I said, having regular bowel movements each day, and then the GI broom, the GI renew will help just pull on all that with this astringent power. Okay. Now, moving on from your stomach and bowel region, we have your adrenal right here, and then your kidney. So this is why you've had this backing up of your lymph system this whole time, is because you see how chronic your kidney and adrenal is. It's very chronic, it's very dark. So this is why at some point maybe you weren't filtering when you were first born. Who knows? Like at some point you stopped filtering from
Mm.
your waste. So addressing this adrenal formula and kidney formula will be essential to get kidney filtration. So colon and kidneys right here. Now what we see is also nerve rings. You see those
Yeah.
rings around your eye? That's not good because
Yeah,
it's
dark
pointing.
ones, right? Yes.
Yeah. It's pointing to the breaking down of your nervous cells, of your nervous system. So I'm going to recommend the brain and nerve formula and the upper circulation formula too. This will help get some blood flow to the head region. So yeah, nervous system, the brain and nerve formula, you should stay on that throughout your entire protocol because you need that power to regenerate your nervous system.
Mm.
Now, we have like these lymph nodes, remember? Like I was talking about?
Yeah.
They're
I see.
all along, like right here you have around your abdominal wall, your kidney, your vaginal wall, your bladder, your reproductive area, and then you have some along your spine and your neck. You see how congested your neck is, the
Mm.
frontal sinus, all these areas, the ear, the mastoid, the areas that control equilibrium and balance. So your lymph nodes are very backed up. Now, if they get more and more yellow, that means they get more and more congested and more hard. And so we have to start reversing this process because it's one thing that if they're white, but if they start to turn yellow, that means it's subacute or some sulfur that's latching itself to the lymph nodes, right? So
Mm.
lymph nodes are the areas that your body takes the cellular waste, it takes it there to break it down, to buffer it with the beneficial bacteria before sending it to the kidneys. If
Mm.
it doesn't do this, then you can burn your kidneys because the pH is just too low from the acidic waste. So it's very important. And that's where your macrophages are too. The macrophages from your immune system, they help eat up like any foreign particles. So we have to address your lymph nodes. So lymph node formula you got to take. Now, this is like that weakness in the breast area that I was telling you about, remember?
Mm.
That's your right area. Anytime you see black, that's like degeneration. That's not good. We want to get rid of that. So you see a few areas there. Even your appendix is pretty dark and like very closed off. So like this right here is pointing to an appendix that's not happy. So
Mm.
um, I've seen things like this where people have gotten appendicitis or have appendix rupture or their appendix removed. So even just as a precaution of that, we have to get your lymph system and your colon moving and draining because this appendix is not too happy.
Mm.
Okay. Now, yeah, we discussed the inner ear, the balance, the dizziness, the vertigo-like symptoms. This is like your bronchial area, part of the lungs. There's some weaknesses there going on. The thymus gland weakness, if you have a thymus weakness, your immune system is not able to produce enough killer T cells to, help combat like any mutated or degenerated cells. So you have to strengthen up your thymus gland. Your right ovary is not looking too good. So all these areas, you have so many weaknesses in the lower half of your body and in your brain. That's what I essentially see. You see that? All the lacunas are in the lower part of your body where your kidney weakness is. So everything has gotten worse and worse over time because your kidneys weren't filtering, all this backing up, and then you have your colon and your upper head
Mm.
issues, you
Mm.
know. So At the same time, like all these different weaknesses in your brain, like your pituitary weakness right here, you have so much congestion. So not only do you have like this weakness emanating from the bowel wall, every time you have toxicity in the bowel wall, if you have like lack of bowel movements or too many bowel movements, you can experience upper head issues just from that. So imagine this toxicity coming from the colon and emanating up towards the bowel wall. That's essentially what you're seeing. So anytime you eat something, you can affect your head area right away. Essentially, that's what's happening. So the
Yeah.
nervous system runs throughout the colon as well. It's super sensitive. So it's very like sensitive to anything that you can consume. Um Now your tonsils are very congested as well, your sinuses. I would say like the different parts of your brain, it's just so thick. Thankfully, it's not like you have like huge lacunas here all over your brain, but you do have a lot of congestion. And I feel like the more you detox, you're going to be able to see more of the weaknesses come through. Because right now it's just so congested, I can hardly see some of the weaknesses,
Mm.
right? So the more you detox, then your eyes will change as you heal. As you clear up all this congestion, your eyes will also change, corresponding to the health of your body. Okay.
Mm.
Now, the area of the five senses, this can affect, sight, sound, touch,
Yeah.
feeling, taste,
Mm.
hearing, like everything. All those senses, they can you can either be it can either be too heightened or not heightened enough when you
Mm.
have weakness here.
Mm.
Motor coordination, that can affect, dizziness and balance. It can
Definitely.
affect like, exhaustion. If you have like ataxia or exhaustion, that can come from this area. The We already discussed like the hypothalamus gland, both from the reality region and also the animation of life. If you have this, you can experience fatigue and depression and lack of awareness,
Mm.
essentially.
Mm.
So
Definitely. Mm.
there's all these different areas in your brain that we have to address. There's a few little weaknesses here and there, but essentially those were the biggest weaknesses seen in your right eye. Okay, so this is the right side of your body, your right eye.
Mm.
Okay, so now if we move to your left eye, we kind of see similar things going on as well. But I believe that the left side of your spine is just so backed up lymphatically that you're seeing a lot more of this lymph node swelling on your left side of your spine, you know? So, have you ever had like any like spine manipulation done, like chiropractic work?
No, no, but I have spinal epidural, if that
Oh, oh
counts.
man. Okay.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
did you have that?
I had with first child 2004 and then 2009 with my second child. So it
Okay.
was a bit different. So the first one I had naturally, and the second she was we had a C-section. So they did
Okay.
spinal, what is it? I don't know, blockage or
Okay.
and then I had a bad reaction anyways. But yeah, yeah, it's very
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, yeah. This reaction, we're pretty much seeing that here in your spine. Like all of this, all the chemicals involved could have congested your lymph system. The
Yeah.
spine is so sensitive. It's very tricky, because like women have epidurals all the time, right? Nowadays, but there's people that have more genetic weaknesses than others that can't handle these sort of things,
Yeah.
just like yourself. So that did a number on you, essentially. So what we want to do is drain the spine. So I'm going to send you a PDF on how to do this, but I recommend doing a neurolymphatic massage, which, maybe your husband can help you do it, or maybe your one of your children or anything like that. But essentially, you're going to want to take your two fingers and work the points going along down the spine. Okay.
So
Is
from
your
up
spine,
up
uh-huh.
down, Aileen, from up to down.
So going from your neck
Uh-huh.
and down, or if your neck is too sensitive, then you can start from your upper spine, that's fine. And then you work in a clockwise
Uh-huh.
rotation,
Uh-huh.
clockwise.
Yes.
To strengthen the nervous system, it's clockwise. And then you work the points down. So each point will be on the left side and the right side of the spine. So the spine's in the middle, and so you go like that in between the spine. and then you just go like that, and then you go all the way down to the lower spine to the tailbone. So
Okay.
working those points for maybe like, a few seconds each, maybe like, 10 seconds each, and then you start again from the upper spine and then the lower spine.
Mm,
That's going to strengthen your nervous system and the nervous system feeding all the different areas of your body if
mm,
you work it clockwise. If you work it counterclockwise, it weakens it. So you don't want
okay.
that.
Yes.
Okay.
You see,
And it'll
because
drain the head as well.
okay. Yes, because my daddy he just touched me a couple years ago, and then again just last year he just touched my back,
Mm.
just little bit, like sort of like tried to do massage, but really not yet, just touching, and instantly I had a reaction. I had like in my brain and in my arms, and in my brain was confusion and something like as if I'm going into attack, but I didn't because he stopped suddenly. So it was
Okay.
just a touch. And I mean, he has my dad has very good, hands for massaging. He goes straight into, I don't know, he just feels it. But I would say maybe Aileen just really like almost like stroking, not even for
Oh.
pushing yet or anything, just really stroking first, because it's really my I don't know, all my body, especially neck area and spine, is just, I don't know what's happening there. Just he
Mm-hmm.
touched. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So same thing with like the other detox tools. When you're able to do
Mhm.
this one, you will be able to. So this, coupled with the herbal formulas and, our approach to moving you more towards
Mhm.
a cleaner diet, I think that your sensitivity to all these different things is going to diminish over
Oh yeah,
time,
yeah, yeah.
right? I
Has.
noticed that it will. I noticed that within myself. Like there came a point to where no one could even touch me or hug me, or
Yeah.
even wearing clothes was so painful. So
Wow.
painful. I was so sensitive. Like they called me the bubble girl, because I
Mm,
couldn't be touched. I reacted to everything. But those sensitivities went away the cleaner I ate. So,
yeah.
and that's what I see with everyone when they detox. So,
Mm,
like rest assured, this is what's gonna happen. We see it time and time again. And once you are able to, like, it'll be around the same time that you're able to handle other types of foods, then you can test this out and do it slowly and just see how you feel. But yeah, that's something that you want to get going though, is
yes.
draining all the lymph nodes that are along your spine. And perhaps the cupping can help relieve some of this pressure that's in
Yeah.
these areas. So, it's a pretty good idea too.
Mm.
Now, something we didn't talk about, like in the other eye, is just like the spasticity of your colon. It's kind of going like up and down, up and down, up and
Yeah.
down. You see that? Whenever you have this spasticity, diarrhea is very prevalent, very possible, as is constipation.
Mm,
So you're losing the tone of your bowel, essentially,
mm.
due to calcium utilization issues. So even though you don't have a parathyroid weakness, like I don't see too much of a weakness right here, I do see a thyroid weakness, but not really a parathyroid weakness. But it's more of the pituitary bringing the parathyroid gland down. So you're not able to replace the calcium that's being lost from your connective tissue, which means that you can have like sagging of your bowels. It's a little bit on the sagging, prolapsing side in the transverse colon. You can have ballooning of the descending colon. It's
Mm,
ballooning a lot. So
mm,
since this is the left side, this ballooning from your colon could even create pressure on your heart.
mm,
Okay.
mm,
Now, not your heart per se, but right here on the aorta is where
yeah.
you have your weakness.
Yeah.
So, like you see the left breast, that lacuna,
Yeah.
your aorta is right here, your breast is right here. So
Mm,
it's like you have just a huge weakness in both of those areas. And
mm,
you see how this ballooning is affecting just your entire heart region. Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Because I was
from
thinking maybe it's related to vagus nerve. Maybe it's just,
oh yeah.
yeah.
The vagus nerve, yeah, all that stuff. Um, all of the major nerve pathways in your body are being affected.
Mm,
So this ballooning is creating that. You have some bowel pockets here, you see. These are areas that you can hold old matter, old hardened stools. Not too good because you can like, that's where parasites are held or like fungus or, not beneficial bacteria, the bad kind can be held there. So we have to go in to clean all this out. Let's see, a little bit of the left lung, a little bit of hand, some spleen, abdominal wall. Like I was saying, there's a lot of like lymph node congestion backing up in the abdominal wall. And now your left leg has a big weakness. Have you ever felt any symptoms in your left leg? Or like your hip or your thigh?
No, no.
No. Okay. Well, you can feel stuff like this during your detox as it's trying to heal. Okay.
Mm.
So, it's interesting how you were describing like this numbness. Where do you feel numbness in your body parts when it happens? Do you feel it all over the place or is it a particular area?
Yes, like today I had numbness in my limbs, so that would be hands, maybe a bit of wrist, and that's it, and then my feet and up to the ankles. But sometimes I would have in my I don't know what is it like not really uterus, maybe it's more out like in
Oh,
vagina maybe area. It's like
okay.
a numbness and buzzing, kind of this different kind of numbnesses, I'd say.
Okay.
And then I would have in my top of my head or like like a helmet kind of,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
okay, okay. So
Uh, yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say numbness is really caused by lymphatic pressure. If you're not having good blood flow or nerve flow to tissue, it's usually being compromised due to lymphatic pressure. We
Mm-hmm.
can see lymphatic pressure all throughout your eye, all over. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
So this lymph pressure can create that. So
Yeah.
the more you relieve this pressure, the more circulation you'll have. Like you have poor circulation, I can see it because there's like a blue hue around your iris
Mm-hmm.
that points to poor circulation or anemia type issues. So lymphatic pressure is the name of the game here. And then you see like all this congestion in your uterus and the weakness. So it's like very, very great. But
Yeah.
yeah, so like let's move on. I mean, the same thing goes again, big adrenal weakness, big kidney weakness, things like that. Now I want to know, do you know what glandulars are? Have you heard of that?
Glandular. So we have what from your videos, I heard something, but not really. I mean, do you mean that sits on the kidney? What are they called? Um, the
Adrenal?
adrenals. The adrenals.
Uh-huh.
Are they
So
are they
yeah,
are
so
they
there, what was that?
do you mean the adrenals and the thymus gland? Yeah, all these thyroid, parathyroid.
Yeah, yeah. So like there's glandulars made for different sets of glands and gland weaknesses, okay?
Okay.
But like they're not herbs though. That's why I need to know like if you're open to it. Because
Oh, you talk about
yeah.
glandules. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've ordered for my dad. Yes, yes. It was animal made. Yes, I remember now. Sorry. Yes.
Okay. No, that's fine. Because from where it looks like your adrenal is one of your biggest weaknesses, I feel like you would need an adrenal glandular.
Okay.
Because you see, it's so genetically weak, it's actually influencing your bowel wall. That's how you can tell if something is a genetic weakness, is if it's influencing your bowel wall. You see how this is also influencing your bowel wall, your heart region. Essentially, you were pretty much like born with having that weakness in your heart, which is why you needed surgery. So, like anywhere where you see this influencing of the bowel wall, like so great like this, it's a genetic weakness, and I would recommend a glandular if you're open to it because in a state that you're in this chronic degenerative state, it will help your healing much
Mm,
faster. And sometimes the herbs are not enough to heal situations like these.
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I'm open to
Okay.
glandules. Yeah, sure.
Now, did you have experience with glandulars in the
No,
past?
no,
Okay, so you didn't take them. Okay.
no.
Okay, so same thing goes with the glandulars. Start off slowly, only take one capsule at a time. So, for instance, if I say take like one capsule 3 times a day of the adrenal glandular as a full recommended dosage that you'll see, you
Mm.
just start off slow and work yourself up to that. If you feel like you're not feeling right, then you can cut it out and save it for another time or just stay on that lowest dosage. Okay.
Mm.
But yeah, if you ever feel like something isn't right, then you can email us. I would say give us a call, but you're in Ireland. Wondering like how easy it would be for you to call us.
I think it's no problem. Yeah, it shouldn't
It's
be a
no
problem.
problem. Okay. Yeah, the telephone number on our website, okay?
Mm.
So if you're having something where like you're not sure, like a detox symptom that is scary or anything like that,
Mhm.
then you give us a call and then we'll be able to help you out with that. But that's why I always recommend start off slowly, work yourself up to these things. So adrenal glandular, that's what I highly, highly recommend since your nervous system is just so weak. And so you see, uh-huh.
Yes, just to ask, oh, is it made of the bovine or the pork? Because I don't consume pork. Uh,
It's bovine.
Bovine. Okay, okay,
Hmm.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, all of them are bovine that I recommend to people. And they're from New Zealand. They're as organic and,
yeah,
grass-fed,
grass fed. Yeah,
like
yeah,
as much as possible. Yeah, but it's always temporary. I only use this in cases where it's like severe, like yourself, and then I give you, whether that's one bottle or two bottles, we'll see how your body responds and how, like if you still need it, when we follow up. I'll see if you still need it. And we can move on to the adrenal herbs then solely, depending on how many improvements you see.
yeah. Yes.
So we're gonna move on. You have like again like thymus weakness, pancreas weakness. I noticed that you checked off a lot of symptoms for pancreas weakness in your health questionnaire.
Mm.
Like I think it was all of them. So that's something else. Pancreas herbs, pancreas glandular, because if you're not like digesting your foods at all, then that's a big, big area of concern. You may lose more weight during your detox. Okay.
Mm.
So I want to know, like, do you have fear associated with losing more weight during your detox?
No? Well, I mean,
No?
it depends, I
Mhm.
mean, if more 10 kgs, then, it wouldn't be a very nice picture. But minus 5 kgs, I don't know. I don't know in what terms we speak, how
Yeah.
much, no, I mean, if it's
Mhm.
necessary, if it's a part of detoxification, then, what can be done? We have to go for that.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
something that you may have to go through. You may lose not too much weight, some weight. Um, Maybe you'll lose like, just a little bit more. Or you may lose a lot, but then regain it on the
mm,
same foods as your pancreas heals, as you heal
mm,
your colon, right?
yes, yes.
But yeah, that's something that you should be aware of because you do have malabsorption. You have like a ring. I think you can see it a little bit more on this eye. You see like a brown ring around the pupil.
Mm.
That's malabsorption. So yeah, that's something that you have to address. Um, we have like essentially you have a weakness in every area of the brain. Frontal lobe, this can, on temple, forehead, you can have pressure headaches, things like that. You can
Yeah,
have poor memory. The
yeah.
frontal lobe deals with memory. Ego pressure, this is the region where you can have like, this can be affected from relationships or past traumas or anything like that, but this is like the hypothalamus region. This
Mhm.
is also the hypothalamus. This is the animation, also hypothalamus. So you have weakness in every hypothalamus region. Equilibrium dizziness, cerebellum is highly, highly congested. That's the sensitive area in the back of your head that, and then your neck, oh my God, your neck, and then you go to like your upper breast, left breast area. But
Mm.
these are your main weaknesses. So, did you have any questions like on your eyes?
No, not really. It's
Okay.
interesting. It's interesting anyway to have a look,
Yeah.
but
Don't feel discouraged, okay?
no, no, not at all. I mean, nothing can really surprise me, I think, by this time.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I tell people like this is just the roadmap that's going to lead you to your road of recovery and healing. This just tells us what we have to go after, okay?
Yeah.
There's people that are walking around with even worse weaknesses and worse eyes, like, you
Mm,
know, but this is doable, just
yeah.
some sulfur, a lot of lymph. Once you start just detoxing this lymphatic system, you're going to experience the relief of so many issues. It's going to
Oh,
be day and night. um major acidosis, essentially, like in the head region and in the face,
yeah.
like it that's where this red capillary is pointing to, is the face, the tonsils, the lower jaw, the forehead, all that is highly inflamed. And
Mm,
then as well as your spine. You can see red capillaries pointing to your lower spine, your thoracic spine. So
mm,
those are the areas that are inflamed right now, as well as, like, your breast and chest region is inflamed a little bit right now. On the side here, I put like all the different weaknesses that we spoke about, but they're pretty much laid out. And like I said, any area that I've marked, like that's like the weakest area. But
mm,
you can expect to see the herbal formulas for your biggest weaknesses in your eyes. Okay.
mm,
So
mm.
I'm going to do my best to, I recommend like trying to get the full protocol. But if you can't get the full protocol, then at least get most of it, because then you'll have like the most healing success. Okay.
Yes, 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 Ailin.
Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing the eyes now. And now, we kind of like went over our time, but I'm gonna just quickly ask you questions about any other health issues that we may not have covered yet, okay? To
Mm,
see and gauge how bad it is that you're feeling in them right now. That way, when we follow up, I'll be able to see, okay, like, are you better in this area? Are you better in that area? Okay. So, in terms of depression, on a
mm.
scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, how do you feel with that right now?
Well, it fluctuates. I mean, it depends. It can be in the morning one way and then afternoon, something else. So
Okay.
when I have a flare up, that's a different story. But say these days oh, Aileen, again, it fluctuates, honestly. Sometimes I'm feeling very, very good, regardless of my, situation and
Okay.
but
Okay. So
again, maybe what exactly depression is, again, what exactly depression is.
there can be many causes to depression.
Yeah, I
So,
feel like I don't have a problems really, I just have a condition where my body, where some, change is happening that wants to create some problems,
mm-hmm.
but I know I don't have problems, or whatever happens, I know it has to happen and I'm totally fine with this. Do you understand? Like I don't know how to explain. But it's something that you know um, that when I eat food, it will be created. Or let's say I smell some, maybe a chemical or something. It will be created.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I see. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. It's like this pressure, fermentation, toxicity thing that you have going on in your body that then affects just how you feel
yeah,
in
yeah,
your head.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it can after 3 hours go away. It's not gonna stay with me maybe for a week, not necessarily. If I continue, until I got to know that actually the food that makes me feel that way, then it was ongoing. It was ongoing. But once I
Ah,
realized that it's the food,
then you
oh,
noticed it. Okay.
exactly, I noticed, because before I thought milk and gluten. I didn't know that chickpeas, that other foods that I was eating were causing me these sufferings. So once I stopped, then my depression also stopped. Once it cleans, 2 3 days, one week maybe, it cleans, cleanses. So I
Okay.
don't know. Honestly, it fluctuates, Aileen.
Okay. No, that's totally understandable. I noticed that in a lot of people.
Mm,
Um, okay. Now, I know in the health questionnaire you mentioned that you had like these obsessive thoughts and
yeah,
that it got a little scary
yeah.
sometimes.
Oh yeah,
Can
yeah,
you
yeah.
tell me a little bit about that in terms of like what sort of obsessive thoughts and what made them scary?
Yeah, so the first time when I remember having them, I was teenager, and then it was winter time. Again, of course, my health going down, and I was in my room watching TV, something like this, and then suddenly I have in my head thought, go and kill your parents. And I got scared. Who is this voice? Where is it coming from?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any fight with my parents, anything. I don't remember anything happening. Yes, kind of a depression, like, this cloudiness and all this, but I don't know where it came from. So that was the first time I encountered this.
Okay.
Then later, later in life, when I was maybe 24, 25, yes, I would have one time, two times in my friend's house, I would have as well something, go do something for them, again, out of nowhere. And then 2015, when I took the antibiotic course, so within that month, just before the attack, the major flare up, we went to shop, and then I had as well, I felt something, all this sensitivity resurfaced, and I felt like people maybe are against me because I'm wearing scarf, and actually just before that thought, it was very strange. In my head, I start to hear some sound, and I didn't understand, is it the music in the shop or is it something else in my head? And then I was confused, and then when I was standing in the lining up in the queue, and suddenly I had this anxiety within me, and then I felt like maybe people are against me, and something like, it was just like a picture. It was just a picture, oh, what if I have a gun and shoot them all? And
Yeah.
I'm not like this, Eileen, I mean, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Maybe it's because some fears from media, something resurfaced. I don't know, but it wasn't me all these times. It's just not me, and it's really scary. It's really scary. And then when we back home again, I looked to the mirror, and it was nighttime. I couldn't fall asleep or something, and I looked to the mirror, and I just opened my eyes like witch, like this, and just I didn't know what's happening with me. I just didn't know, just looking at me, and
Okay.
do something. It's really, really bad.
You meant like do something like act on your thoughts? That's what you mean?
No, like to
Or
do
like
something, something bad. I don't know. But again, I don't want to. I don't want to.
it's I want to know if because like I'll tell you this much,
Mm,
okay? I personally have had these types of thoughts before. And I can tell you from the many people I've spoken to, it's essentially like it's wired within humans to think these types of thoughts. It's kind of like our creativity running running.
mhm,
Not that we would ever act on them, but we can have these sort of thoughts jumping in and out, right?
mhm.
Now, how often we have them, how much attention we put
Yeah,
to it, how
we.
much emotion is associated with it, that's a different story,
Mhm.
right? I want to know if you feel like deep down you're getting these sort of thoughts and you're attaching like do you feel emotional? Like do you feel like anger? Do you feel like maybe you're having these sort of thoughts because maybe you want some sort of attention? Maybe you're feeling like hopeless or you know what I mean? Like is
No,
it coming
no,
from
I
that or
wouldn't
is
say
it coming
no,
oh, okay. So
no.
it's really just coming
Yeah,
from this space of cloudiness.
yeah, exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
had to differentiate it to
yeah.
see because some people do have thoughts like that because they're essentially like, so angry, right?
No, I can be very angry and have nothing at all to do with, with such a thought, like really angry, but, still being, kind of in control, like, a minute later, I feel like totally, like what I'm doing, but
Hmm.
never having those thoughts. No, these thoughts always would come with that cloudiness. It's just out of me, out of nowhere. I would say out of
Yeah,
nowhere. Yeah.
yeah. They're not you.
No, they're not.
Um,
Exactly.
And yeah, like when you reach that sort of sensitivity, I mean, I'll tell you this much, like some people they can hear voices, they can hear, it can be used in the positive or the negative.
Mm,
So
mm,
you can be someone that's almost like very spiritual, very sensitive, very in tune with like, the things that we can't even see
mm.
in this 3D world, right?
Yeah.
There's some people that can hear heavenly music. There's some people that can see auras and like around people and like see
Yeah.
spirits and things like that. Um, and that's really like uh, on some level it can be a gift or it can be a curse,
Yeah.
right? So, and it depends on like what level you're at, like how often you see it, like what you relate to it,
Yeah.
what you use it, like what sort of power, stuff like that. But that's just one level. On the other level, it's really hard, like in this physical body, it's really hard to have that sense of awareness and that channel open when you're just trying to live your life, you know, when you're trying to just be grounded in this reality. So the body goes into these states when it is highly acidic in the brain. So, clearing all this out, you won't have to fall into this state of like having these thoughts or seeing these things or hearing this music or anything like that or having uncertainty if you don't want to. You should be able to control that and go into a state of like, like meditation or like being able to experience more of the other worlds, not being forced upon you, but because you're going within and you're exploring that yourself. You know what I mean? But right now it's being forced upon you just due to
Yeah.
acids. So
Yeah,
that's not
actually, I
good.
lost you. I lost you, Aileen, for a minute, or maybe less than a
Oh,
minute. I didn't hear. Yeah,
oh,
yeah, but
okay.
I think I get what you speak. No, I didn't attach myself to those thoughts because definitely, it's not mine, and I don't want to delve into them. And
Yeah.
by the way, just as a side note, my mom has a schizophrenia
Yep.
with paranoia, tendencies. So
Mhm.
maybe these weaknesses are, are there.
Genetically
I don't know.
speaking.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Like I was saying, the hypothalamus region controls many of these things. Like paranoia is just your grasp on reality is twisted.
Mm, mm,
Okay.
mm,
So I'm really seeing like all these deep weaknesses, like you really need support in those areas. Herbal support, strengthening support as you clean everything out. Because if your mom had these types of symptoms, it's genetically passed on to you.
mm,
So so like as well as she removed cysts in her breasts, armpits, that's where you're getting like the breast issues from. High blood pressure, kidney weakness, that's what that points to. So we saw that in your eyes. Um, Thyroid issues in younger days, possibly you said that. Pituitary weakness.
mm,
Your father has Hashimoto's, thyroid and pituitary.
mm.
So all these areas, nervous system sensitivity, your father even has that. So,
Oh
you know,
yes. Oh, my
all
both
these,
parents are so sensitive. Oh my.
all genetic. And
Yeah.
then, okay, general body imbalances from your grandmother on your father's side.
Mm, mm.
What, what's that? Just like general illness or?
In those times after war, they didn't really do proper diagnosis, but
Mhm.
it was like general body, weariness, or I don't know how to call it, but probably hormones involved, and I mean,
Okay,
we
okay.
wouldn't be surprised.
I see.
Yeah.
And now your grandfather on your father's side, nervosity, so anxiety, paranoia, hallucination. So you're getting it from several different areas.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
getting it from your father's side and your mother's side
Yeah.
combined. You're
Mm.
actually really lucky. because I've worked with clients that it's gotten so bad. Like I feel so bad, but and like we're still working. We're still working. You know, there's some tough cases out there
Mm,
that this young woman, she's living with her parents. It's so bad that she thrashes. You know,
mm,
she's very violent. She says that whenever she sees like these religious images, or if she goes by a church,
yeah,
the devil overtakes her and says, kill everyone.
yeah, yeah,
It's that bad, and
yeah,
she's tried and attempted to hurt her family. So you're not at that point, which is fantastic. But
yeah.
even if you were, like, detox can heal, because we're starting to see transformations in her behavior. It's
Mm,
going to be a long road, but she's finally making progress. So
yeah,
I know all too well all
yeah.
these sort of things. But yeah, like I said, like, you know, don't feel bad for having felt these things, because it's not
Mhm.
you, and we're going to clear all this
Exactly.
stuff
Yeah,
out.
and it's not often, Aileen. Again, thanks God,
Yeah.
you know, it's not often happening. I mean, last time I had it, pretty long time ago. So thanks God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about like your skin problems. We haven't discussed that yet. So you have eczema in certain parts of your body?
It's just sometimes when I have eaten some food, like wrong food, so I would have on my face some really small patches where, I apply cream, it's sore, it stings. So I know from that, I don't know, again, I don't know if it's eczema, but I'm just guessing that it's eczema because it's like red and dry, and it stings, and then, 2 days later
Does
it
it
goes.
scale? Like, is it flaky,
Um,
or
mm,
it just burns?
It burns. I wouldn't say flaky really.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But then I would have those spots in my face. Say if I didn't move a bowel one day, or I took wrong like food, say something, a reaction. I know from my face that I have a reaction,
Yeah, yeah.
because yeah, yeah, on my face it shows.
And even your sensitivities to so many different things, like all the allergens
Yeah,
that you mentioned in your questionnaire.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So, so much symptomology on the face. Like that's a given, we discussed that like with your colon every time, fermentation, everything backs up in your face, and you can
yeah,
see all these different things. So, the more that you're able to filter from your kidneys, then your skin will start being able to be relieved. So
mm,
you'll see less and less of these things, which is good. Now, since you're sensitive from the very beginning, and then you're going to be moving more towards raw, you
mhm,
may feel heightened sensitivities from different areas. Like your smell might be a little more sensitive, right?
mm,
Or different thing like that. So I want to know, you cook for your family, right?
yes.
Um, have you felt like even sensitivities from just you cooking?
Uh-huh.
Like, have you felt like, oh, like this is too much, like the seasonings or the food, it's just too much?
No,
Okay, you haven't felt
actually,
that yet?
no,
Okay.
not yet.
You might feel that at some point. I know for myself, like when I was doing all raw and my husband was like cooking a stir fry with onions in the kitchen, I was like, "Oh my God, that's too strong. Like I feel like I can't breathe, you know?"
Yes, yes. No,
So,
I feel about the perfume like this. Perfume,
like that.
definitely. Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, um if there comes a point where you do feel too sensitive,
Mm,
you have to make a decision with your family. Like if your husband can do some cooking, or if your children can help out with cooking, like it's a little harder to follow a raw food diet when you're the only one doing it in your environment. You know what I mean?
mm,
And you're responsible for feeding everyone. There's
yeah,
more temptations involved too. So
yeah, yeah.
when we get to that boat, for some people it's an issue, for some people it isn't.
Mm.
So we'll see how you're able to handle that
Yeah,
situation,
yeah,
and
I
I'll be
feel
able
I
to.
feel like I'm already kind of, have that, experience, on like mono, sweet potato one year, So I feel like I have that. Again, I cannot guarantee, but I feel like, with a support of family and maybe, yourself or some other, people, I shall be fine. I don't worry really about that. It's
Good.
just what, where to get those fruits here in Ireland. This is really,
Oh,
and how to make the body accept that food really, and how to digest. This is saying, the main points, at the beginning.
Exactly. So, that's just going to, with patience, with time, you are able to do it. Just incorporating just some fruit here and there, and then increasing it gradually, then you'll be able to have more and more success. But I think I only have maybe three more questions for you. Do you have like any hemorrhoids or prolapsed organs in your
Uh,
body?
yes, I do have hemorrhoids, definitely, and fissures. Oh,
Fissures, anal fissures? Okay.
yes, fissures. And yes, definitely hemorrhoid. Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to know if you had any
And I feel,
prolapse.
inside the bowel, just where the anus, I feel like something is there, as you
Oh,
say, something is sitting, or I don't know.
yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't point that out to you in your eyes. Like I forgot to mention that.
Hmm.
But let me see if I can pull that up real quick so I can show you. So you see right here in your eye,
Hmm.
this right here is your sigmoid colon. This is the area that, like the part of the colon that leads to the rectal wall or the rectum and then the anus. So that lower part of your colon, there's a stricture there. So it's like pinched in.
Yeah.
So that can mean like that's the reason why you can have trouble passing
Yeah.
some bowel movements and feel like something is stuck in there. Okay? So
Yeah.
this is not common in a healthy colon. It should be like perfectly circular all around, not be like this and not be ballooning like this. Okay? So I really wanted to point that out to you. It is sort of like the passageway is more narrow in this area,
Definitely.
the
Because
sigmoid colon. Mhm.
if I have shaped stools, then it would come flat, which is
Oh
normal.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like all that flattening, it's not able to come out like in a cylinder form, a
Yeah.
whole form. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Um, and like the same thing goes for here, a lot of spasticity as well, and a little bit in the cecum, but that's like, another part of the bowel. But the stricture, that's that stricture, and even the prolapsing, this part of the colon should be more picked up.
Mm.
And this part of the colon is the part that goes across your abdomen. So it's sagging down a bit, putting more pressure on the lower regions of the body.
Mm.
So it
Mm.
could be a little bit of that, but definitely that stricture in the sigmoid colon is what's causing a lot of health problems. So, we'll tone the bowel wall, we'll strengthen it as we go along, but first we have to clean it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's see. Okay. Now, you still have your menses, right? How often do you get it? And can you explain any irregularities
Oh
that you
no,
may get?
they're pretty regular. Just recently, now I have it maybe every 32, 33 days, but it was always 29 days, plus minus 1 day, take or add 1 day would be difference, but it's regular. And but they are pretty heavy, I'd say, pretty
They're
heavy.
heavy.
Yeah,
Mm.
especially the first,
First
you
few
know,
days?
yeah, actually the first day, before I used to have straight away first day a lot, but now since I'm sick like this, the first day is very stagnant, like the blood doesn't want to come, I feel. But then second day is like, poof, coming, and third day also, but then slows down, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh day, and then end up. But
Okay.
yeah, I do have second day a lot of it.
Okay. So excessive amounts of bleeding, and again, the pituitary gland controls the female reproductive cycle and the the cycle of your period. So
Mm,
it depends because some people might see improvements on that when they go on raw, but then some people might see like their period going all over the place as this gland is being healed.
mm, mm, mm.
Okay. So I've had some women like lose their period for a few months, and then once their pituitary gland is back working again, they'll get it again, their
Yes.
period on the same diet. So that
Mhm.
might happen. You may see some like jumping around with
Yeah.
your cycle. But as you go along, one thing that will improve is the amount of blood. Okay, so if there's a very heavy period, it'll get lighter, which is a good thing. It means you're less toxic in your uterus.
Okay.
Yeah, there is like again, there's some detox tools that you can use. Let me see what you put in the health questionnaire. Okay, so you don't have like any atypical cells or anything like that? Hello?
Hello, hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, good. No, I was asking you, like if you've ever been tested for having any atypical cells.
Um, no.
Okay. So, your uterus,
You mean in the neck of the where exactly, Aileen?
the reproductive system. So like the
Oh, oh,
vaginal wall, the uterus.
yes, yes, it was some maybe maybe 8 years ago.
Okay. So since that's the case, I'm going to recommend the Heal All tea and for you to start douching with the Heal All tea. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you instructions on how to do that. That's a very healing tea. It'll help pull out any acids that are in that vaginal wall and uterus and cervix, you know. Just a matter of like you want to essentially take care of any opening in the body or encourage elimination from every opening in the body. So you can accomplish that through there. And now, do you use any like natural body care products or are you using conventional body care products?
No, I don't use conventional. My sister, she's making creams, facial creams.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
using that. And then, no, I don't apply any lotions. I do olive oil and coconut oil, things like that.
Okay. Okay.
And shampoos also we use, not necessarily 100% organic, but natural and yeah,
Okay.
trying to, yeah,
As long as there aren't like any parabens or
yeah,
sulfates or
yeah,
any chemicals
and-
that you
yeah,
don't recognize, that you can't
yeah,
pronounce, then that's good.
yeah.
Okay, so that's good that you have that taken care of. Now, do you have trouble like swallowing capsules?
No.
No? Okay. So your herbal protocol is going to be a combination of like capsules, tinctures, and glandulars. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, when I send you your herbal protocol, I'm going to send it to you like that. The dosages will be on the side, you know. I'm going to do like month 1, month 2, okay? Now, try and get the full herbal protocol. I'm only going to recommend things that I feel like you really, really need to address. Like we saw all the weaknesses in your eyes and your symptoms. Those are the formulas that you'll find there. And so if you want to get the full protocol, that's the best situation. But if you can only like let's say afford to do a few or if you want to start off slow then at least get the ones marked with a star that I'll put next to the like I'll put a star next to the most important ones that you absolutely need. Okay, you can start off with your diet as soon as possible, like I said, incorporating just very very slowly like a tiny amount of fruit and moving in that direction until you get your herbs. Once you get your herbs, you'll have the herbal support and you can hit it a little harder because you'll be able to have the herbs to help you navigate the detox symptoms better.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
so you mean uh,
Mm-hmm.
I should take some fruits even though I would react to them. I mean, from tomorrow, let's say from tomorrow, I have to start taking, right? A let's say
I
few
would
grapes.
I would say don't start off with grapes. Grapes are very like astringent. I'd
Okay.
say start off with the fruits that we mentioned before, like let's say an apple, right?
Okay.
If you're not sure if it's organic, I would recommend peeling the
Okay.
skin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, try and avoid neurotoxins as much as possible.
Mm,
If you're scared to do that, then at least until you get the herbs, at least try to avoid animal products and stick to veggies.
mm,
Okay,
mm,
if you're too scared to start off, which is fine. If you want to wait until the herbs, and that's fine. But if you can just test it out, like you don't have to sit down and eat a full meal. If
mm,
you can just test it out by just having one berry and that's it,
yeah.
then do that and get your body used to having the fruit chemistry, even if it's in small amounts.
Okay.
Okay.
Aileen, what about frozen? Like I saw frozen organic, what was it? Raspberries.
Okay.
Is it
Um, yeah, frozen is good. Fresh is best, but frozen is still good.
But
It's still,
if it's organic
oh
but
yeah,
frozen, and there are fresh but not non-organic, so which is better?
I see what you're saying. So, I'd say in your case, frozen is probably better because there's no neurotoxicity if it's organic, and
Hmm.
it's guaranteed to be pretty ripe because it's frozen at its peak ripeness.
Mm.
So, but would you be able to handle, I see what you're saying. So you're saying instead of like getting a one piece of blueberry, you would have one piece of frozen blueberry instead,
No, I'm trying to say that
or like a smoothie.
we have fresh raspberries, but they're not organic.
Oh, raspberries. Yeah. Okay.
Raspberries, yes, not
Yeah, yeah.
organic. But the organic ones are frozen, so I can thaw them, I can thaw them and eat.
Oh, you can thaw them. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So which is
So
better? Which is better, organic but frozen or fresh but non-organic?
do the organic frozen for now, since you're just so sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Okay.
Because if you do the non-organic, you can create this spasm in your
Yeah,
body.
yeah.
So
Okay.
just focus on organic right now. The stronger you get your nervous system as you go along, then if you have a non-organic fruit, I think you'll be able to get away with it
Yes.
better
Mm.
later on than right now.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, that's a good point. Focus on organic, and frozen is still good. Like I recommend to people frozen smoothies all the time, and that helps. It's essentially like you have to know what it is that you have at your disposal, like what's available to you, and work with that in
Mm.
the meantime.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this is the end of our call. Do you have any final questions for me?
Mm.
Or do you feel like we've covered a lot? And like, we weren't able to get to like every single symptom, but all the symptoms that you listed, I wrote on the health notes, and the causes will be listed out for you, so you can refer to that as well.
Yes, yes, Aileen, yes. Just one thing I remember from my past, I used to, of course, in my body all, not clean, but a fruit, I would have, if in my past, if I would have a fruit meal, I would feel nauseated,
Hmm.
and I would have, hypoglycemia, like an attack, maybe, a few hours later. Uh, I,
You're scared to eat any fruit right
I'm
now?
not. I'm not scared. I'm just asking, maybe I would like to know why this would happen. Why sometimes,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Hypoglycemia stems from the adrenal glands. So the adrenal glands, they're responsible for sugar metabolism. So if you have like any of those episodes, it's because of that big hunk in adrenal gland weakness that we saw in your eyes. So that would
Okay.
make a lot of sense. But yeah, those glands will be supported. The sooner you can get your herbal protocol.
Okay.
Now, like we said before, greens might be less aggressive right now.
Mhm.
So you have to test that out. I know I said like eat like one frozen berry here and there, you don't have to sit down and eat a full meal, but you can also test out to see if there's any like maybe like a cooked veggie that you can handle, right?
Mhm.
Eat a small amount of it, not a huge meal, just like even if it's like one leaf, like one um uh kale leaf or one piece of broccoli, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. See how you're able to respond with that. If you feel like you just can't do it, then wait until the herbs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I will try. I will try. I want raspberries.
You want the raspberries?
Yeah, I want the
Yeah,
raspberries.
yeah, I know they're tasty. Okay,
Yeah.
but res try to restrain yourself though.
Yeah, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, yes.
yeah, and yeah, like the soothing herbs. That's something you can do now. Okay, like I
Mm.
said before, get slippery elm and marshmallow roots
Okay.
and try them and see how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel good, it'll coat your stomach, it'll create more alkalinity, and you may be able to not have reactions when you eat the fruits and veggies. You'll
Oh,
be more easily able to handle them. Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because the strange thing is that that the reaction would be instantaneous. Like before, I would have a reaction perhaps next day or
Ah,
some time later. But then it came to the point where,
spontaneous.
yeah, I eat and then instantaneous reaction, and I didn't
Mhm.
understand why. Is it because the stomach, in the stomach, there is this the stomach wall sensitivity, or is this?
It's the fact that you have so much acidosis in your stomach that the second you eat like any sort of astringent food, like
Mhm.
fruits, or if you're eating something that's too toxic that your body can't handle, it will like either you're toxifying your body, making the condition worse with heavier food, or you're cleaning out the acids that are buried deep within the stomach lining. And
Mhm.
so you're feeling, then it goes up, and then you can feel it everywhere in the nervous system. It starts to fire out. The nervous system's right there in the stomach. So
Okay.
that's why. And of course, it's instantaneous because you eat it and then it goes plop in your stomach.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why. Hmm.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I know it can be a little complicated, but like we did our best. We did our best. As you can see, detox, like you can talk about detox all day long.
So
It
much, Ailin.
There's a lot
Appreciate.
of
I
stuff.
mean, you're doing that every single day, and yeah, appreciate for your time. And definitely, we did more than we supposed to.
Yeah, yeah. I hope it was of help to you, but like you don't have to know all the answers,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
I've I've given you the answers. The answers is in your diet and herbal protocol and detox tools. You follow that, you're gonna start
Yeah,
to heal, you
exactly,
know? So
exactly.
so
Yeah.
yeah. And if
I,
you're
I just
ever
hope that I
uh-huh.
won't react to the herbs, badly, very badly.
Yeah.
That's, and that they would start working, sooner better than later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
patience, patience. Like even if you can't handle them right away, you do whatever you can to move in that direction. Like for instance, for myself, I couldn't handle strawberries or oranges to save my life in the beginning of my detox. They would cause me like hives and reactions all over my skin, big welts. My mouth was itching like with sores. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't do them. So I had to focus on other things that were more gentle. And
Yeah.
then, after like a month or two, I retested those things again and I could handle them again.
Wow.
So that's going to be your journey,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
One more point, Aileen, just because you mentioned the mouth, I sometimes get a strange thing. It's like blood pooling underneath the skin, and usually it's not very big. Well, like maybe half centimeter, sometimes maybe 1 centimeter, but it's like pulling. It's like a ballooning. Imagine like a ballooning skin, and beneath it is a blood.
Oh,
And
okay, I see.
yeah, and
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
the mouth, usually in the cheeks, inner cheeks, in inner area of the cheeks, and then they would, pop out, and the blood would come out, and so on. It's,
Yeah.
it's, I don't know. Do you have an idea? What is this?
Yeah, yeah. We see a lot of that in your eyes, like the lower jaw region was a
Okay.
big definite weakness. I don't know if you remember seeing that,
Yeah,
the
you
lower
said that.
jaw.
Yeah, you said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Overall it's acidosis. However, if it's like you have to be careful with these things because when you have this sort of weakness,
Mm,
viral loads can attach themselves to these weaknesses. And then over time you can get things like mouth sores and herpes and all these different types of things.
mm,
Um, so it can be it's possible that, with all this acidic waste and then with that weakness, with that inherent weakness, you
mm,
could see some reactions. Now, if it's like an overabundance of like, let's say you're reacting to something that you ate, it
mm,
can be like, whoa, more inflammation.
mm,
It's automatic.
mm.
Or if it's something that's cleansing you, it could be the lymph pulling, and then you could see a little bit of blood
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
your whole body is made up of the two fluids, the lymph fluid and the blood.
Mm,
So they're always kind of like mixed together. Just like when you pop a pimple, you see a little bit of blood and a lot of lymph, right? So
mm.
don't be too scared of seeing the blood. It's just that it's right there. You can't escape it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what you're seeing is like that acidosis
Mm, mm,
coming about. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I had a beautiful time speaking with you. I hope that this call like helped and was a source of inspiration and information to you. I really enjoyed talking to you. You're a sweet person, you're intelligent, and you know, like even if you feel like you have brain fog, I think that, you know, you're very articulate and aware, and it was a pleasure talking to you, you know.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
dear
yeah.
Jane. Yeah, thank
No,
you. Me
no
too.
problem. Yeah. And I just can't wait to see you fully heal and help guide you on this path. Okay.
Yes, Aileen.
So
Yes, yes.
you
We
can do
have
it.
to. We have to do, Aileen. We have to because yeah, yeah.
You
I'm
can do
really
it. I have
happy
faith in you.
finding you. Yeah, I'm really happy because again that you went through that yourself. That's a big plus actually, because some doctors, they have knowledge, but when they don't have experience, it's
Experience.
it's not same really. So yeah, I mean, of course, that's pity that you had that experience, but then again, when you realize that
Ah,
actually this experience grows us, I
oh yeah,
actually I wouldn't even I wouldn't really exchange it. Even, might sound crazy, but I really,
exactly.
I'm grateful for it, to be honest. I don't want it to last any longer.
Yeah, I
Maybe
know.
enough,
You've
few
learned your
years, I
lesson.
think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Like, even though I like it was almost another lifetime. And when I think back, I'm like, wow, how could I have endured so many years of suffering? Like, it's a miracle that I'm still here. I didn't go crazy, right? But then I'm like, oh, wow, look at all these people that I've been able to help heal and do still heal because I had motivation and drive to continue this, learning so much about detox in order to help others, right? So it was like the catalyst. And
Yeah.
all these different situations that we're put in, whether they're negative or positive, we think of them as catalysts. And like, you should think that life is always happening for you
Yeah.
and not against you.
Yeah.
Everything's happening for a
That's
reason.
definitely, yes.
Hmm. Exactly. So yeah, so I'm excited. Have a good night, and I know it's super late for you. My apologies, but I'm so glad that we were still able to have this call.
Yes, yes, exactly. Me too, Eileen.
Okay, so have a wonderful rest of your night and take care.
You
Yeah,
too,
we'll speak
Eileen.
soon.
Bye bye, Eileen.